In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Steel Toe Evening Show. It's me, it's Aaron. Tell Gino to get the fuck off his show. What is he doing? I just went into Rumble to set up the chat for tonight, and I see that Gino Bisconti is still like, get him the fuck out of there. That's right. At the 11th hour, I'm going to blow it all up. Fuck him. That piece of shit. I hope he... I'm not good at that. I'm not... I should... You know what? I'll work on it. I'll work on that part of my skill set. Fake outrage. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you. I tell you what, I'm always happy to see my my evening show audience. Love you guys. You're fantastic. You've already got things underway tonight. I appreciate that. It's Gray Duckling with $2. As we know him, second place Gray Duckling. Behind the extremely generous Crunchy from last night. Crunchy at 210 leading away. You know, I hate to be incredibly greedy, but like, anytime I see Crunchy at 210, I'm like Seth Rogen and Knocked Up. I'm like, what else can I squeeze out of you? Xbox 360, Xbox 360. She's at 210. That might stand for the rest of the week. 210 might hold, my man, because right now it's Gray Duckling at 77, Stephanie at 70, Sanford's Son at 50, unless I have Flinty Gecko's count wrong. I've got him at 50 for the 20 gifted memberships, but I think that's our cut of the gifted memberships. I think his might actually be 80. He might be in second place at 80. Flinty can maybe correct me on that. If not, I'll go look after the show tonight, and I'll fix that up nice. But thank you guys very much for all of your generosity. And, Gray, I don't think that Crunchy was doing anything gay yesterday. Crunchy was just talking about your dick. Crunchy's a woman. If a woman talks about your penis, it's not gay. If you think about her having a penis, that's mildly homosexual. Red Fox Mad with $4.99. Thank you guys so much. Kicking it off right tonight. Says, did you see Tracy Morgan at the basketball game? Yeah, we're going to talk about Tracy Morgan at the basketball game. I really hope that this Triple N post isn't correct, because Triple N likes to fuck with me on sports every once in a while. Tyreek Hill going to the Bears, most likely. Enjoy seeing a cheetah in the north. Fuck. You know, you know me, I spend pretty much all day. I had a few hours today where the kids and I went to this new park that's by my parents' place. I took them down there today. And my oldest daughter went with grandma because grandma's not going to see her on her birthday. We've got her here. I mean, I guess they could come up here. Lazy old fucks. But on Thursday, it's my oldest birthday. And instead of coming up here and taking her shopping, they wanted them to go down there and go shopping and for her birthday. So she did that with grandma, and I took the other two to the park. But on the way to the park and on the way down to the cities, I'm consuming Vikings content. I mean, it is Vikings content, Vikings content, Vikings content. And I'm watching my favorite, and no annoyed Wawa supervisor. My favorite content is not Purple FTW. It's Purple Daily. It's the radio guys, Judd Zolgad, Mackey, and the other kid. And they were talking today. The Vikings have like $30 million in cap space left. A little less after today's signing. We've got about $30 million in cap space left for this year, and we're about $9 million over for next year. And there is a possibility that the Vikings either just pocket some of that $30 million and move it on to next year to get our cap straightened out, or there's an idea that maybe we're saving our money for one last big get. And no, not Aaron Rodgers. We don't want him. But one of the names being thrown about was Tyreek Hill. And it looks like that may not be the case if Triple N is right. Tyreek Hill going to the Bears most likely. The Bears are really using up a lot of their draft capital. They must think they have a Super Bowl window. I mean, you might want to find out if Caleb Williams is any good first before you start thinking you have a Super Bowl window. Take it easy. But that would suck if they got him. Some of the names they're kicking around for us, if we're looking for a big name, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, the two Jets, Dexter Lawrence from New York, but with all the defensive linemen we signed, I don't know why we would want Dexter Lawrence. And there was one other name that came up. It was an older receiver, but Tyreek Hill was one of them, but there was another older receiver, and I don't remember who it was. But if Tyreek is going to the Bears, well, that sucks. That eats a fat one. Thank you to Fuck You Dude for $5. Says missed it live, but this was for the black guy and the bikers. Holy shit, that was funny. I mean, hey, you can thank me for that, but Chevy Fan and Sanford Son helped us hit the goal this morning, and we promised we'd do it if we hit the goal. They hit it. The morning show pulled their weight and even went over by $20. Pretty nice. And now you guys are at 175. You guys are always crushing it. You saved the morning show's ass yesterday, got yourself a 3-hour show. If we hit tonight's goal, we'll talk about it, but we pissed some people off with yesterday's show, and it's hard for me not to be happy about that. Taste Ferry Ialto says, you were in the cities and you didn't listen to Dan Cole's hard-hitting Vikings commentary. I love the common man, Dan Cole, but I got my guys when it comes to Vikings talk. Triple N says, damn, Sauce would be nice. I'm angling for that Sauce Gardner thing because Sauce Gardner, our boy we just re-signed, Byron Murphy in the slot, and then the other outside corner being Mekhi Blackman, who's coming back from injury this year. That would be an unstoppable secondary. And then you'd have to, I know we'd have to give Sauce, we could give Sauce a big contract, or, hear me out, we could take Sauce Gardner for the 2 years left he's got on his rookie deal, make that our Super Bowl window, let somebody else sign him for big money. I don't know if he'd be happy with that, but I wouldn't mind renting Sauce Gardner on a rookie contract for 2 years. Let it happen, or extend the guy. Either way. They just think that the Vikings are holding on to $30 million for a reason. Fuck You Dude with $2 says, oh, well, send my money back then. Well, no, I mean, I love having your money, but I'm giving credit where credit is due. Raz of Chaz with $10. Holy shit, thank you guys for a great start tonight. Says, let's start the Bucks for Cucks donation drive tonight. Put this towards Crunchy's delightful tits. Now, why is it always... You guys, it's been 24 hours since a woman was in here dropping lots of money on us, and you guys still just with your eyes out of your fucking head. Jesus Christ. All right, we're down to 165 already. Thank you, boys. What do you guys got for us tonight? Gray Duckling says, here we go. Vikings stand a chance. Yep, this is that time of year. You can set your fucking watch to it, kids. Aaron thinking the Vikings got a shot, and this is our year. Now, remember, last year I said 9 or 10 wins. I said with Sam Darnold, maybe 9 or 10 wins. Even I didn't have 14-3. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year we'd lose in the first round of the playoffs, I'd be like, great season. Awesome job, guys. A lot of fun. The way it happened, shitty. Sucks. Billy Bob Norris says Vikings will go to the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if McCarthy is good, if McCarthy is up to being a 10th overall pick, we're looking at a Super Bowl window. When you have a good quarterback on a rookie contract, that's your window. We got a 4-more-year window with J.J. McCarthy. I would say with the guys we signed this year, our window is now 2 to 3 years. And if McCarthy's good, then we can get there in that window. If he's not, that window doesn't look so open. You know what makes me really bummed and makes me really depressed and makes me think the Vikings will never win a Super Bowl? Is those last 2 or 3 Lions teams. They were perfect. They were there to win a Super Bowl. They had it in their grasp against San Francisco last season and then again against Washington this year. That team, I mean, it just, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be absolutely perfect. I'm going to get to Sneed Dave in a second. Thank you, buddy. Everything has to be absolutely perfect for you to win the Super Bowl, and even then, luck plays a factor into it. So, well, congratulations. The Vikings didn't go empty-handed. Take a look at this shit. Vikings and cornerback Jeff Okudah, former 3rd overall pick, reached an agreement today on a 1-year contract. The 26-year-old Okudah had multiple options, but chose to return to the NFC North, this time with the Vikings to play for Brian Flores. I'm happy with it. Let's go. I think that takes us out of the Sauce Gardner running because Jeff Okudah is he's a reclamation project. He obviously has the talent. Someone saw something in him to make him the 3rd overall pick. The Lions did. And I'm happy to have him. But I think that pretty much puts the kibosh on any Sauce Gardner talk. I mean, if we got Okudah, Murphy, Blackman, and Sauce, no, I didn't just say we have black man sauce. That's not what I'm not trying to say the Vikings have black man sauce. I'm saying we've got Mekhi Blackman and Sauce Gardner. I like if we have Murphy, Okudah, and Blackman sauce. That's all I'm saying. Those 4 guys would be perfect. I swear sometimes I do it on purpose. Sneed Dave Williams with $50.
They are afraid.
Thank you, buddy. We'll take our 35 of that. You're the man, Sneed Dave. He says, sorry I've been away for a bit. Hope you're well. And here's your cover for any future misdemeanor. No, I'm like the Soggy Bottom boys in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You know, when the governor looks back at him and he goes, and if their days of misdemeanoring are over, they are over, ain't they, boys? Hey, idea, Victor, if you're watching the show tonight, if you could find Pappy O'Daniel saying the Soggy Bottom boys, and if their days of misdemeanoring is at an end, they are, aren't they, boys? I would love to have that video clip. Pretty pleased with cherries on top if you could do that for us. Thank you, Victor, or anyone else for that matter, if you want to take the lead on it. Thank you, please, and thank you. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, who should the Vikings get to back up J.J. McCarthy? I almost let it out. You know who I want? Kirk Cousins. I do. I love Kirk and I love J.J., and it would be the perfect marriage. Kirk passes the torch to the next guy. Check this out, right? Look. Kirk Cousins is set to make a shitload of money, and Atlanta's got to eat it, right? I saw a great theory today. The Vikings offer Atlanta some cap relief. We take a big chunk of Kirk Cousins' contract onto this year where we have $30 million. We give them like $25 million worth of cap relief. They give us Cousins and a couple of second-round picks. Huh? We get a couple of high draft picks. We get a backup quarterback in Kirk, and we give them a little bit of cap relief, and then they eat the rest of the contract. I don't know, guys. I like it. If they would go for it, I would do it. Get them out from under some of that contract. How much of that Kirk deal did they give him guaranteed? That's the question. We can give him a lot of relief. Wasn't it like 70 or 80 million guaranteed in the Kirk deal, and they've already paid out like 50 of it? We'll give them 25. They're on the hook for another 5. We're set. We got lots of draft picks. And then Gray Duckling with $5 says, I'm sorry, I still see Cousins come on your cheek from back in the day. I'm never going to wash that cheek again, my man. I enjoyed the Kirk Cousins era. I think he's one of our best quarterbacks we've ever had. Talent-wise, I'm going to go Tarkenton, Culpepper, Cousins. Those are our three best guys. I think that it's a shame Dante Culpepper hurt his knee because, boy, he could have been something special. As a matter of fact, this year is starting to shape up like that 2000 season we went to the NFC Championship game. Hear me out. Vikings feel like they're one piece away. We lost Jeff George to free agency, just like we lost. Jeff George was a reclamation project. We built him back up. He signed for big money in Washington. And then we go, well, we drafted a first round, an 11th round. I think Dante was an 11th round guy. We drafted a quarterback in the first round last year. He's waiting on our bench. And Dennis Green was going, Dante's our guy. And then behind the scenes, we found out that Denny Green was going, hey, Jeff, do you think he'll come back at a reduced rate? No, fuck you. All right, Dante's our guy. We're rolling with Dante. And then Dennis Green goes, hey, Dan Marino, will you come out of retirement for 1 year and play quarterback for the Vikings and throw to Randy Moss? He's like, no, I hurt. And he's like, all right, then Dante's definitely the dude. So it's very well known that Dennis Green wanted to get Dan Marino in 2000 for 1 year until he felt Dante was ready. Dan Marino said no. We rolled with Dante Culpepper, and we went to the NFC Championship game. We don't need to, for the sake of this is only a 2-hour show, we don't need to discuss what happened in that 2000 NFC Championship game. It's not important, and quite frankly, it was a long time ago. But I hate Jason Sehorn. So I'm really looking forward to this season. It's shaping up a lot like 2000. And here we go. Get ready, guys. Yep. Get ready, because this is that time you set your watch to where you go, Aaron's ODing on the hopium when it comes to the Vikings. Yep, we're here. We're here. If we draft some, like, stud wide receiver or something in the first round, oh, my God, I'm going to be insufferable. 191 Redbird with $5 says, I haven't seen you this happy since you were talking about gay shit. 125 away from tonight. Thank you guys for the awesome start. I appreciate all the blues and purples and greens and oranges and all the shit I'm seeing on Rumble and YouTube. Appreciate it. You want to load up the PayPal and the Venmo? We'll make it a whole group thing. Actually, you know what? I should probably be tired of that. Balls Deep becoming a Baby Boot member. Thank you very much. Trucker 18-wheeler renewing his for a 14th month. Says, go Lions. Hey, ain't nothing going to break my stride. Ain't nothing going to slow me down. I'm happy. Adam Simon gifting a membership. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate those memberships. Appreciate it. As if we make it through, if we knock out tonight, that means we are more than halfway to our 6th straight perfect week. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So a lot of good Viking news. I believe I'm officially over my hangover from Saturday, but boy, did I puff up quite a bit. I did some puffing up during that hangover recovery, boys. A lot of pizza. A lot of pizza. Trying to convince myself that SP ate some of it, but I think she only had a piece. A lot of pizza. Heavy. Bloated. I think you can definitely see it in my face. We talk about that in boxing all the time. We always tell the younger fighters, we're like, I know you guys think you can go out and drink and all that stuff, but one night of drinking, it sets you 2 weeks back. And I can tell you the last 2 weeks I've been coming down probably around 5-6 pounds away from fighting weight. I'm about 10 or 11 above now. It's going to go down in the next couple days as I de-bloat from all this, but it definitely sets you back. And also, you know, with business taxes and the kids and everything this week, I haven't had time to go to the gym yet. So tomorrow will be the day. It might have to be a 2-a-day, fat ass, because, oh boy, you got some catching up to do. Gray Duckling with $20. $20 from Gray Duckling. We got Gray Duckling now up at $101. Thank you, buddy. You're in the triple digits. He says, I'll take Rodgers over Cousins as a backup. I got bad news for you. Aaron Rodgers ain't going anywhere as a backup quarterback. Forget that. 191 Redbird with $5 says someone needs to clip this for him after the inevitable choke in a few months. A few months? The season doesn't even start. The regular season doesn't start till September. Few months. I got a long way to go, dude. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, do you remember the Johnny football excitement? That did not end well. Well, no, I really don't remember it because that wasn't really a Vikings thing. That was what, a Browns thing? You guys with Johnny Manziel being the next big thing? We got JJ football over here, baby. We got JJ football. 105 away from tonight. Holy shit. Guys, blink of an eye, 15 minutes into the goddamn show, and you're 105 away. Keep it up. This is great. Thank you very much for your generosity. And I promise you, we've got a great show tonight. Oh, 1-2 skip to my Lou with $20. Says a little something, something for you. And then don't read. Hold on, guys. I do want to read. This is an update on something important. Ooh. Well, you guys will know about that information soon enough. Thank you, 1-2 skip to my Lou. Now we're $85 away from tonight. Jesus, you know, I like the trust that this audience shows in the toe. The morning, they always make you prove it, and even then, they're like, all right, thanks for proving it to us. We know you did a good job. All right, see you later. I'm like, whoa, we're $100 away. You guys going to finish this up? We're like, no, good show. You did fine. Evening show crowd, $85 away. I haven't said a goddamn word yet. Thank you. I've just been reading your super chat so far. I've just been doing MLC for the moment. We do have, this is a closed circuit to the Minnesota crowd. Tim Walz went on Gavin Newsom's podcast because, you know, Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of California. And apparently he has solved every problem in California. Hey, have you seen this, folks? Have you heard about this? Apparently there's nothing wrong in California. Everything's been fixed. It is a utopian state. Everybody loves it. People are flocking to it because their governor has so much free time on his hands that he can do a podcast where he just talks to other people about, you know, the solving all the world's problems, I guess. Because if there's anybody who needs to be an authority on solving the world's problems, it's Gavin Newsom, the man who's created a lot of them. So he had Tim Walz on either yesterday or today, and there's some clips coming out. Minnesotans, you're used to this, but people across the rest of the country watching the show, there is nothing funnier to me than when our governor goes public trying to be a fucking tough guy. It is the greatest thing. It's, I get a kick out of that, or like if Nick ever says, oh, I could beat Aaron up. Shut up, bitch. No way in hell. If you dream you could, you should wake up and apologize. But Tim Walz likes to go be like a tough guy every once in a while. You know, like he's back on the farm in Nebraska drinking horse semen, you know? He was on Gavin Newsom's podcast, and he was saying that he could kick all the Republicans' asses. I mean, not in an election, obviously. That would be something totally different. But I guess, like, physically, he's going to kick every Republican's ass. I would like to do my impression of every Republican upon hearing Tim Walz saying he could kick their ass. Say it again, little man. Here he is. This is Tim Walz. Remember, he can kick everybody. He's a tough guy. Mr. Tough Guy, Tim Walz. That's what I call him. Tough Guy Tim. Back where he's from.
And then they demonize people.
Yeah, demonize and they weaponize grievance. They other people. They talk down to people, past people. They humiliate people. They weaponize difficult issues.
I'm sorry. Is this the two guys who don't have a fucking mirror for their own party podcast? Are we really going with this? They other people. Oh, you mean like basket of deplorables, you're all a bunch of Nazis, oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about Republicans now. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you that Republicans do dirty shit to win elections, but Jesus Christ, you guys are so not the people to be playing that card. Every independent in this country can play that card. Can say, oh yeah, the Republicans, other people, they They manipulate using difficult issues, and they pull at your heartstrings, blah, 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 blah. Everything you're saying about the Republican Party can be said about the Democratic Party just as much. I'm not even going to get into who does it worse. You both do it. So stop.
But the bottom line is, and I think it goes back to what we began with, is, and I applaud you for this, is we cannot continue to be on the defense reacting to this. We've got to go on the offense. We got to meet people where they are. But I also think this, and
what, setting Teslas on fire and calling people Nazis, that's not going on the, that's you guys being defensive? Yeah, that Tesla was coming right for us. It was a Doge Tesla. I don't think you guys are really, do you feel attacked? I mean, I know there's a difference between getting beaten and being attacked. Like, you got in a fight with the Republicans and they beat you. I don't think you were attacked necessarily.
this is where, this is part of the.
You assholes have been out of power for 2 months. 2 months you've been out of power, and now all of a sudden you're the worst victims who have ever had it.
The conversation I'm trying to have is you got to respect people you disagree with, and you can't just dismiss people.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. If you like Trump, you're a Nazi or a racist or okay, you can't do that, huh? As soon as you guys figure that out, I'm sure we'll be glad to stick around and hear it.
How do you fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
I love how they're like, the Republicans, they threaten, they weaponize, they do this, they do that. You know what we should do is kick their asses. Wasn't that your whole attempt with the Antifa thing, was just beating everybody up? How'd that go? How'd that work out? Jesus, these people are lost. It is over, Jack. It is over. Just, I think I could kick most of their ass. Yeah, Tim, absolutely. Oh, all of them. I mean, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene, but even that's a big time maybe. I don't think that you're going to be able to kick most of their asses. Sam Show says Walls has a perpetual "please don't hit me" face. Oh, Elon is on Hannity tonight, says Kloppo Graham at 8. Oh, so when we're done, Elon's on Hannity. Oh, yeah, plug away, Kloppo, plug away. If it's after Steel Toe. Absolutely. All right, Elon on Hannity. Well, here's the only thing about that. Hannity's just going to suck his cock the entire fucking time. I do have some questions of Elon. Because, like, now these judges are saying that he can't Doge shit. They told him that he's doging wrong. So he's got to doge differently, or else there's no more doging that can happen. It was an Obama judge. An Obama judge said you got to stop doging. I don't think he's going to stop doging. I think they're just going to take it to the Supreme Court and see if doging can continue on its regularly scheduled thing. But I don't know if Hannity's really the guy you go to get answers out of people. Hannity's the guy you go to when it's like, hey, I just want to hear what I want to hear from this guy. That's when Hannity does. Walds thought that David Palmer was a real person. He's a fictional black president on 24. Wrong, JH. David Palmer was the kick returner for the Minnesota Vikings in the 1990s. Thank you. Yankee says Tim's doughy face looks like a catcher's mitt. I mean, it was a catcher's mitt for what J.D. Vance was slinging out there during that debate. That's for sure. Taste Fairy Ialto reminding us Walls is also friends with school shooters. He has. He's befriended many school shooters. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. The goal message is wrong. I'm just going to write thank you. I fucked that up. My bad. There is not a $100 shortage from this morning. I had yesterday's message in there. My bad, guys. I'm so sorry. There it is. $85 away from tonight. You guys are doing just aces. Thank you very much for your generosity. Yeah, I'm not going to lose sleep over Tim Walls starting battle royales against Republicans or like starting a Street Fighter thing. Victor says YouTube has the clip of the pardon.
And I say, if their rambunctiousness and misdemeanoring is behind them, it is, ain't it, boys?
Yes, sir. It is.
That's the part I wanted right there. All right. Now I'm going to be an old man. How do I just I just clicked the download button, I'm assuming. For a second there, I was just asking, how do you download that? And apparently all you do is you just hit download. Now, wait a minute, though. It's downloaded on my YouTube. It's not downloaded onto my actual computer. You know what? Let's not do this here. All this is going to do is expose what a boomer I am when it comes to YouTube. Let's not do this here. Let's do it somewhere else. I'll figure it out. This does not need to be discussed any further. At all. Dinkelman says, imagine if, that was the other name I heard. Victor just gave up on me. He goes, I'll get you the clip to your email. All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Dinkelman says, imagine if the Vikings get Quentin Nilsson. People are stirring that we might get the 4-time Pro Bowler from the Colts. Yeah, that we might grab 60% of the Colts offensive line and just pop it right into ours. That wouldn't be a bad one. That'd be the best offensive line in football right there. Taste Fairy Ialto says the real version is on Kazaa. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sam Show says, email grandpa. Oh, I wish I could fight back against those charges, but when they're right, they're right. Well, you're right. All right, guys, let's go on to the next thing. Good luck to Elon on Hannity, but honestly, fuck. I have a hard time watching Hannity because it's just, speaking of pro wrestling, it's like it's scripted. I know what he's going to say. I know how he's going to respond to each answer. It's just, I've never been really much of a Hannity guy. I didn't mind it when he had that Combs guy to like bounce shit off of. And like, he wasn't much of a debate partner. And one of my high school teachers pointed out to us, because we're like, well, Hannity and Combs is fair. It doesn't have a bias. And they're like, really? They picked a young, square-faced, attractive, high school jock-looking guy in Hannity to be the conservative, and then a bug-eyed alien fucking Alan Colmes, a stuttering, muttering prick like Alan Colmes, to be the liberal guy. That kind of blew that argument to fair and balanced out of the water at a very young age. But hey, good luck. Watch Hannity. Check out the thing. I heard just minutes before we went on that they were releasing the JFK stuff. I was ready to come on here tonight and go, see, I told you so. I'm telling you right now. They're not going to release him again. It's all bullshit. They fucking lied to you. Well, apparently the JFK records did start getting archived at around 5-something today. March 18th, 2015 release. We've got it right here. In accordance with President Donald Trump's directive of March 17th, 2025, all records previously withheld for classification that are part of the President JFK assassination records collection are released. So, holy shit. 113 pages of this shit. 1,123 entries have been released. Oh my God. This is why we have a media. So here goes. Secret. The attached article, which may be of interest to you, appeared in the March 7th issue of the Italian Communist Party weekly Mimacita. The writer, Gianfranco Corsand, had been on and off U.S. correspondent for the Italian Communist Press. Note that in the section penciled in red, rumors are referred which suggest that it was the agency to organize the murder of President Kennedy. And when they say the agency, they're talking about the CIA. I know that you're probably like, yeah, we fucking know, Aaron. But when they say the agency, they mean the CIA. See, here's a CIA document, discussion between member senior division concerning Oswald's stay in Helsinki. And we obviously had tabs on him. I talked with Frank Freiberg, recently returned COS Helsinki, regarding Warren Commission inquiry concerning the timetable of Oswald's stay in Finland in October 1959, including his contact with the Soviet consulate there. Freiberg gave me the following information. It takes 25 minutes to drive from the airport to downtown Helsinki. By taxi, it would take no more than 5 minutes. Holy fuck, is this autistic? I don't care. Just tell me if he shot the president or if you guys did. I agree with Gray Duckling, $2. He says, I'll let the autistics go through it first. I think, you know what? I'd rather be right than first. So, yeah, I'll wait till everybody goes through it. And you know what the amazing thing is? There's going to be some assholes from some website who have these gone through by tomorrow morning. And they're breaking it down. But, oh, my God, 1,123 entries into this shit. And some of it's just stuff like this. What if it was MN Public Records who released these? Wouldn't that be something? We have an urgent matter of public record to disclose to you in the JFK assassination. Yeah, more Helsinki stuff. Oh, my God. One thing the CIA has going for them on this Kennedy thing is that they can definitely bore us to death. Like they've 1,123 entries, and it's all just, it's a 25-minute cab ride from the airport to downtown Helsinki. And oh, Jesus. Yeah, this is a lot. Good luck going through it all. 3/18/25, 3/18/25. Well, he did it. He said he would do it, and he did it. I was starting to get worried. I was starting to think that maybe this would be another Epstein-type deal where they would go, oh, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then, oh, it's on my desk. It's on my desk. I had this meme ready to go for tonight because I thought they were, I didn't think they were going to be releasing the JFK files today. It's Chris Farley sitting next to Pam Bondi, and it says, remember when you said the files were sitting on your desk? That was awesome. I don't like her, man. She's quickly becoming my least favorite of the Trump administration people. All right, so lay it out, guys. What do you think happened? They're going to go through all 1,193. Oddly enough, you know who I trust most on this? Because I feel like the mainstream media is going to throw enough shit at you that's in there, but not enough to look really bad. I would trust a Glenn Greenwald on something like this. Glenn Greenwald is usually pretty good when it comes to releasing all of this stuff. Matt Taibbi's another one. Matt Taibbi, Glenn Greenwald, if they tell me what's in here, I'm buying. But what are your theories? What do you think? I'm going with CIA involvement. I'm going the CIA recruited Oswald, and this was a CIA plot to get back at Kennedy. I think that they talked to Oswald a whole bunch. I think he was their Bob Lee swagger in the movie Shooter. He was their patsy, and that's who they used to get the job done. Atomic Ray says Bondi has the role of prosecutor. Exactly how drunk on cum do you have to be to like someone like that? Well, that's, you know what? That's a fair point. Not the drunk on cum part, of course. Clopogram with a hot take. He says, whoever did it, they're definitely dead. All right, there we go. Dinkelman says the Jews and the mob and the CIA definitely did it. Well, cast a wider net, why don't you? That's not a fair guess. That's not a good that's not the spirit of hot take culture. The spirit of hot take culture is this is who. Boom, you throw it out there. It's not don't you know anything about hot take culture? This is why everybody needs to watch more sports. You watch sports talk shows, you learn how hot take culture goes. You just throw an irresponsible speculation out there, And then you land like 1 in 150, and then you talk about how great you are. That's how hot takes work. Aaron, do you think Marina Oswald was an agent? I don't fucking know. Guys, I'm pulling half of this stuff out of my ass, and half is generous. I don't think it's I don't think it's going to be like I don't think we're going to get anything earth-shattering. I don't think they kept any of those documents. I think we're going to get stuff where if you believe in a certain conspiracy theory, it might, more arrows might point towards what you already believe, but I don't think we're getting the proverbial smoking gun out of all this. If we do, then the CIA is even dumber than I thought. There we go. Dinkelman says, hot take, the mob did it. There you go. That's what it is. That's a hot take right there. You don't get to do a hot take of like it was either this one, that one, or the other. It's got to be, boom, hot take. That's who did it. Well, they released them. Over 1,100 pages of shit that the media can now go through and tell us what's in there, and we'll try to trust them. Gray Duckling with $5 says it was the Jewish heritage that set up Rage for Independence for the I Give Up. Well, Gray Duckling, you tried. And really, around here, it's the effort that counts. You're now at 108 for this week. Thank you very much. And you evening show people are only $80 away from being 2/3 of the way through a perfect week for yourselves. Thank you so much. JH says, I can just watch JFK on my phone instead of reading this boring document. Yeah, can we maybe get Oliver Stone to make a really fast movie by the time we wake up tomorrow? And then we'd know what's going on? I'd like that. Let's get out of the hard news realm for a little bit. I know we've got the Tracy Morgan thing coming up in a little while, but I want to go to this Erock clip. I'm a big Opie and Anthony guy from back in the day. This is interesting. So, Mr. Nagel, I did hear Anthony very recently say he doesn't really have anything against Steel Toe, and, he did a few shows for Compound. He did get one thing wrong. Anthony said, Aaron did a few shows for Compound for free. I did 6 episodes of our own show, and we got paid $250 for each one. And then we filled in for Anthony when he was gone 2 or 3 times, and we got paid for those as well. So we did... Every time we did something on Compound Media, we got at least $250 for it. I mean, no wonder they went out of business, right? Paying me to do fucking shows? Out of your goddamn mind. No, Erock was very good to us. Erock was very cool, and Compound Media took care of us every time we did a show. And we thank Erock, and we thank Anthony for that. But Erock was on somebody's fucking show. I don't know. Misery Loves Clips clipped it. And he was talking about the Opie and Anthony archives. They were like, where the fuck are the Opie and Anthony archives? Well, apparently, according to Eric Nagel, according to longtime producer Erock, he stole them. And this is some brazen shit for Mr. Rock. Eric just came out on this podcast and goes, yeah, I fucking jacked them from Sirius XM when I left. And then he filled their hard drives with dummy files. That wasn't the Opie and Anthony shit. This is pretty wild. Let me play this for you. Erock basically admitting to theft from Sirius XM. You know what the great part about this is? Even if Sirius XM wanted to do something about this, they couldn't, because A, they have no interest in playing the O&A archives, and B, that company is circling the drain. I mean, you've got ad revenue just fell off a fucking cliff. Subscriber base keeps going down. They can't make a dime. It's tough sledding. I mean, satellite radio is more obsolete than terrestrial radio at this point. Terrestrial radio will still be around long after satellite's dead because it's coming quick. This is Eric Nagel, excuse me, talking about how he just straight up stole the Opie and Anthony archives from Sirius XM. And if I may go on record, I didn't think the guy had it in him. He's a sweet guy. He doesn't seem like the type who would just steal from the company like the drunk who gets laid off as a forklift driver and takes a shitload of bricks home with him.
That wanted to use a clip of O&A in the movie. Sony reached out to me, and said, hey, we were told you have the stuff here. What do we have to do to get permission for this stuff? So I said, well, I have this stuff, but I got to see about as far as the Sirius XM stuff goes. Oh, well, they claim they don't own it. What do you mean? So Sony's now telling me that they went to Sirius. Sirius says they don't have it. They don't own it. They want nothing to do with it. Can you send me that correspondence? They sent me those emails. I contact an entertainment lawyer. I go,
that's interesting that Sirius XM, boy, they must have really fucking hated those guys. And, like, I guess maybe Anthony's firing made him bitter, or maybe they didn't want him. Maybe they inherited him with XM, and maybe they were redheaded stepchildren. They never liked him. But Sirius XM didn't want anything to do with the clips. I mean, they could have used them. It would have been free to have an Opie and Anthony channel. You could have thrown, I mean, would you even have to throw those guys any money? I mean, if there was nothing in their contract about owning their archives, then Sirius XM could have done an Opie and Anthony channel for a few years after they were gone and just played the hits. Wouldn't have cost you anything. You could have just put it on the channel. I think Opie and Anthony archives would have been better than the Opie and Jim show that they put on. But Erock finds out that's also got to be a little bit of an ego hit that, like, Sirius XM is like, yeah, we won't even play you fucking guys for free. We don't want you. I don't think it's good judgment. But then again, we're talking about Sirius XM, the radio company that still thinks Howard Stern's going to pull them out of irrelevance.
Here's the thing. Well, who has them? Me. They don't have anything? No. How do you know they don't have anything? Because I didn't give it to them. When I left, the hard drives and stuff they thought that they had with all the material were dummy files. And they were all labeled, but they were.
Should you really, like, look, and I understand the irony of me giving someone advice on what you should do publicly on the internet, of what you should divulge on a show. Believe me, I understand the humor of it. But I know that Sirius doesn't care about the Opie and Anthony archives. I know they don't give a shit about the Opie and Anthony archives. But shouldn't you wait till they're all the way in the ground, until they're all the way dead as a company, before you go, oh, by the way, retroactively, I'd just like to admit when I left there, I stole all their files? I really don't know if that's the way you want to go. All right, you know what? Cool. Let's be honest. Nothing's going to happen. He'll be fine.
There was nothing on them.
Wow.
So they took the stuff. There's nothing there. They had nothing. And I blew everything out of the computers. It's all sitting on hard drives in air sealed containers at my place. I have all of it. Right?
Wow.
Good for Eric, man. Good for Erock, just dropping the bomb. Just throwing it out there and going, oh, yeah, by the way, I stole all of them. I wiped all of their files. I gutted it, and I left dummy drives on their computers. Kind of sad, though, that Sirius, because you kind of want Sirius XM to figure it out at some point. Like, they go and look, like when Obadiah Stane goes to look at his computer and he sees that Pepper Potts has uploaded all the Tony Stark kidnapping files, and he loses his shit. Sirius XM didn't even bother to check if the O&A stuff was there. So, for all intents and purposes, Sirius XM just was going to let the Opie and Anthony stuff rot. So, I guess just tell him you stole it. I just really don't. Can you just say that? Can you just say that I stole it? JH says Opie and Anthony. What the fuck did I get in trouble? JH says Opie and Anthony were way better than Howard Stern. Look, man, I'm an Opie and Anthony fan, but look, prime Howard Stern, shut the fuck up. Prime Howard Stern was a great show. Were Opie and Anthony funnier individuals than Howard Stern? I'll go with yeah. But the Howard Stern show was incomparable in its prime. And I'm talking Artie, back to the Jackie days, even Billy West. I mean, that show was one of a kind. No Pen 15 Fathead with $2 says, you didn't realize he was on Chrissy Mayer's show? No, I had no idea. Chrissy's got weird numbers, by the way. Have you ever noticed that Chrissy has like a shitload of subscribers, but like our view count is essentially the same? Like some of our live streams do way better than hers, and then she'll grab onto some conservative topic or grab onto some conservative guest, and then she'll have one video that kind of goes bigger than the others. And then the rest will be like anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 people, but she's got like 100,000 subscribers. That's weird to me. That doesn't wash. Like there's some channels too. And some of them are channels that all they do is follow Steel Toe. And you'll see their live numbers are actually worse than our live numbers. But after the live thing, a few hours after they go live, their total views will shoot up like 10,000 viewers. And you're like, that's paid for. Because, like, when you do streaming, you know how many people watching live and roughly what that translates to in views. And if that doesn't match up, they're buying views. 100%. Her channel is cooked, says Sam Show. What does that mean that's cooked? Like I don't know. I think what it could be is that maybe like she had guests on that people really liked. So the people who were fans of that guest liked her channel, but then never watched it again. I don't think it necessarily means she buys subscriptions. What's going on? Clapogram says, what's going on with Justice John Roberts? He's in Trump's bad books now. Hey, go back and look at the history. John Roberts has gone against Donald Trump quite a few times. This is not new. John Roberts ruling against Dandy Don. He was the guy who kept Obamacare alive. They didn't like that about him. He gave Obamacare the thumbs up when a lot of people thought it should be unconstitutional to mandate Americans to buy something. He said, nope, that was okay. And it was really strange, the rationale that John Roberts gave as to why mandating the mandate in Obamacare that Americans had to buy health insurance if they're over 26. He said it was under taxation. It was about taxation, so it was okay. And I'm like, I don't really think that's how it works, but that's how they snuck it under the wire to get Obamacare done. Whatever. All right, continuing on, let's get to the Tracy Morgan thing, shall we? Holy shit, you guys are incredible. Only $80 away from tonight. Just a killer start to the show. Just $100 in like the first 10, 15 minutes. Just boom, like that. Thank you for continuing to chip away and finish it off. We appreciate you guys being here tonight. So you always worry about Tracy Morgan because he had that terrible accident where that Walmart truck hit him and he suffered really bad brain damage. I mean, they've tried to bring Tracy back a couple of times to do stuff, and he's not, while he's not Bruce Willis bad, he's not doing this.
The old days,
yeah,
you told me about, you'd have just taken a telephone book to him. Now I gotta actually question people and go fucking buy the book.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. I guess I'll take care of this here. You're gonna hit the game?
Yeah.
Right. If they don't beat them, who can they beat?
Yeah. That's right.
I'll take care of this, all right?
All right.
I got it.
He does just about that when they put Tracy Morgan in stuff. So he was at MSG for the Knicks game, and apparently he vomited on the floor seats, vomited on the court, complained of headaches, and had to be taken away in a wheelchair. Really scary stuff. And anytime someone's had a history of traumatic brain injury, you worry about stuff like that. Vision, headaches, vomiting, nausea, dizziness, shit like that. You always kind of worry about it. But this was the scene. So they had to wheel him off. They said he was complaining of headaches. There is either a picture or a video of him vomiting. Yeah, they didn't put it in this video. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's, instead of showing it. Because I don't think I'm Mandela affecting this. I saw Tracy Morgan vomit yesterday, pretty sure. He did post Thank you for all your concern. I'm doing okay now, and doctors say it was food poisoning. Appreciate my MSG family for taking such good care of me, and I need to shout out the crew that had to clean that up. I appreciate you. More importantly, the Knicks are now 1-0 when I throw up on the court, so maybe I'll have to break it out again in the playoffs. I mean, it's good that he has a sense of humor. Oh, yeah, there's the picture of Tracy puking. I mean, he gave her that. Oh, and the pretty girl sitting on the floor, just kind of leaning away, and it's okay. Just where do I look? You got to feel bad for a guy. I'm sure it's not the first time a celebrity's thrown up on the floor of Madison Square Garden. I mean, I'm sure there's been a few guys who have had a rough night and, you know, and threw up, but they're saying it was food poisoning. I've never had it. I've never dealt with food poisoning. I don't know what it feels like. I've had like a thing where like maybe I ate too much ice cream and I don't do too well with ice cream. And it is, oh, God, I feel like you're wringing your guts out. But never straight up food poisoning. Yeah, people are saying in the chat, God damn. Sam Show says, I like how they captured the splatter in motion. Oh, you know there were cameras fixed on Tracy no matter what was going on that night. They didn't know he was going to puke, but they were just like, my job is to get Tracy Morgan photos tonight. They didn't know that it was going to be their night. And so they had that camera trained right on him. So they got all kinds of, you know, depending on their shutter speed, they got all kinds of action shots of Tracy vomiting. Yankee says, dude, save some oxygen for the rest of us. He definitely had quite a spill. Sam Show says, oh, food poisoning fucking sucks. 1 minute you have it, and the next minute it's gone, and it makes no fucking sense. You thought you were dying 4 hours ago, then you're just up and about like whatever. Yeah, I've never dealt with like legit food poisoning, and I hate when people had like a bad stomach for a little bit and they had a rough trip to the bathroom and then they go, oh yeah, I think it could be food poisoning. It's not. Let's say 9 times out of 10 when people think it's food poisoning, it's not. You gotta, you had a rough time digesting a pork chop and you got a rough tummy for a little bit. You'll be okay. There's I differentiate between a case of the shits and food poisoning. It's a little different. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever vomited from something I ate. I don't think I've ever had anything come back up that way. I mean, drinking, yes. Hangover, yes. But never just like I ate something, it disagreed with me. And, I mean, I've been on this planet 38 years. I mean, I've wrecked a toilet or two. Don't get me wrong, but never thrown up because of something I ate. Now, this just strikes me as racist. Brett Mack says he must have had a bad batch of fried chicken. Just, you know what? Just really blatantly racial commentary. McBuster says 9 times out of 10, it's just alcohol withdrawals. Yeah, it's just, you're getting the shits because you ain't drank in a while. I don't know. I get them when I do drink. That's, I guess you and I are not the same. Have you guys seen this, the Alec Baldwin, Hilaria Baldwin clip? I love that Hilaria Baldwin doesn't seem to give a shit that her husband has taken a woman's life before. She does not give a flying fuck that her husband killed a lady. She's going to mouth off to him right there on the red carpet. If you haven't seen this yet, this is from this weekend. People are making all kinds of, like, even this person who posted this is classic narcissistic control, public humiliation, dominance, and ensuring the spotlight is on. Everybody wants to overanalyze 20-second clips and go like, oh my God, you know what this is? I can diagnose her from here. No, sometimes people are just dicks in public sometimes. Sometimes people have a rough night. Or sometimes, you know what it is sometimes? Sometimes people do something and it comes off a certain way and they don't even know. They didn't even mean to do it that way. It just kind of came off like that. Narcissistic control, public humiliation, and dominance. All this from a 21-second clip of Hilaria Baldwin talking to Alec. They're on the red carpet for some damn thing. They're talking to Extra, and this is the clip that got this person going, this is classic narcissistic control and public humiliation. I don't know. I think it's public humiliation when your fucking husband kills a lady, and now you got to deal with the press asking you about it for the next 5 years, but that's just me.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
I'm sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
I'm sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
That's it. That's all she did. You know what that was? He's got himself a dizzy wife, and she gets kind of excited sometimes, and she mouths off. That's what that was. That was not... Wait a minute. Buzimok, what did you do? Hold on a minute. I'm not going to play this on the show cold, Buzimok. I'm gonna take a listen to it first. Give me 1 second. You motherfucker. I got to show you what Chad Buzimok. Let's finish up this Alec Baldwin thing real quick. I don't think this is like narcissism or public humiliation. You know, everyone who's ever been broken up with has been with a narcissist. Have you noticed that? I've literally met one narcissist my entire life. One guy. That's it. The rest of them we've all got different personality quirks. You know what word I miss? I miss people just being an asshole. You know, everyone, watched a few true crime specials. So now they know, they watch a little Law and Order SVU. So everybody knows what every psychological quirk is and what it can be diagnosed as. The vast majority of us are just kind of selfish assholes a lot of the time. And when it comes down to our self-preservation versus theirs, we choose ourselves over 99.9% of the population. There are, I probably would say 5 to 10 people. 10 to 15, because your kids are an automatic. 10 to 15 people in this entire world that if it was, I'm going to be at risk of death, but I can save them, I'm choosing myself. Other than those 10 or 15 people, I'm choosing myself every time. There's 10 or 15 people where I'd go, I don't give a fuck if I die. I'm going to do my best to help this person. Most of us, pretty selfish. But like Hilaria Baldwin getting a little exciting, going, oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking. How do we know that he doesn't do that all the fucking time at home? How do we know that he's not interrupting constantly? Now, I would argue that maybe Hilaria Baldwin shouldn't be popping off at Alec like that because we know how his temper can get. She might have frisked him for firearms. I don't know. But either way, I just hate it when people like something happens and like, oh, look at her. That's a classic display of narcissism. Shut up. They had a public moment where he was being a dick and she shut him down. Let's just relax. Just a little. Just a little. Yeah, MSO says, especially if he's near a gun, right? Kloppo says she won't be seen for a few days once they get home after he slaps her around the house. I don't think he's going to slap her around the house. Relax. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, who gave you that pulled pork sandwich you got the shits from when you were on the radio? Now, can I just say something about that pulled pork thing? And I can't remember who that was. Was that Approachable? Or if not Approachable might have been in studio that day. I can't remember. But yeah, somebody brought me pulled pork from like a cook-off that they had done. But they had driven it up from Kansas City and it wasn't in a cooler. And they brought it up for me and I ate it while we were on the air. And during one of the commercial breaks, I had Oz or whoever the second mic was have to like come back from break instead of me because I was down in the basement shitting my fucking brains out because I ate lukewarm pork, pulled pork that hadn't been refrigerated properly for what's the drive from St. Cloud to Kansas City? 8 hours? Ooh. It's good pulled pork, though. I ate the whole thing. And then it all came out later. Thank you very much, Red Fox Matt. I appreciate that. $75 away from tonight's goal. You guys are just on it, man. You guys are just on it. Got about an hour left and $75 to go. Thanks a million. Turtle with $2 says she shut him down with her fake accent, remember? Oh, yeah. She developed some like quasi-Spanish accent, even though I don't think she grew up there. But she's got one. She's, I don't know. Both of the Baldwins are a little weird. Maybe they're made for each other, you know? All right, this is the clip I requested. Now, I'm going to say that about 10 to 11 seconds of this is the clip I requested. You guys can tell me what 3 or 4 seconds was not the clip I asked for. This is from Chad Buzamak, whose home phone number is 21. No.
And I say, if their rambunctiousness and misdemeanoring is behind them, it is, ain't it, boys?
Yes, sir. It is.
I'll take that dick now. I'll take the dick now. I'll take the dick. Oh, goddamn.
And I say,
why? Okay, let's forget about the I'll take the dick part. Why is my camera, does it always look that fucked up to you? This really sucks because I look at OBS, I look great. I look at my Rumble, I look great on my Rumble. I can see everything clearly. It looks fine. That steel toe background looks fantastic. Is it just when Johnny's on? Is it something about the way Zoom is interacting or what? Because I look spectacular right now. I can read that board clear as a bell. The background logo thing looks fucking spectacular. Mike Lindell looks great. What is it about some of those clips I see where it always looks like shit, but I'm looking fucking spectacular on all my stuff? It's hard for me to fix it when I can't see it, you know? Sam Show says, Aaron, they limit the bit rate by the time it gets to us. But like I'm looking on Rumble right now, it looks great. As I look on Rumble, it looks spectacular. As I look on YouTube, I can read everything just fine on YouTube. Like it looks fine on YouTube. I don't know. Clopogram says, we tell you most days the camera sucks. I can't fix it if I can't see it. If I'm on the channel and I'm watching the show and it looks fine, I don't really know how to know when it's good. Are there days where it's different? Like, are there times where like, oh, today it's good. Yesterday it's bad. I don't know. Your camera is shit compared to Johnny's camera. I know. I just must not know how to work my camera because I have a more expensive camera than Johnny does. Expensive doesn't mean better. We'll upgrade it again. That's what we'll do. You look marvelous. Oh, thank you. You look fine, and this morning was good too. Blame it on Spectrum. Yeah, it always looks the same to me. I don't know what to tell you. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much. $75 away. Chad Buzamak says if we don't fix or talk about it on air, Aaron will never fix it. Again, I got to tell you, if I can't see it, I can't fix it. That's my problem. It's one of my many problems. All right, guys, 75 away. Finish it off. Let's do this thing. Saw something very, very funny. This New York Times columnist. I love it when these people who were all in on taking away our jobs and everything else during COVID, I love when I understand your guys' frustration now when I'm like late to a conspiracy theory. And when it's a conspiracy theory, I shit on you guys for having. And I'm like, that sounds retarded. You guys are dumb. What are you talking about? And then like 3 weeks later, I come to you with it like it's my idea. I understand how infuriating that can be. I get it now. Because this New York Times columnist came out this week. And, here's Matt. He says, your video quality has been shit for a long time. People have been telling you it looks like trash. It's not just when Johnny's on. It's all the time. Right now, you are fuzzy as fuck. It's something to do with your output settings on OBS. Sorry, but I don't know exactly what those settings are. You notice it more on larger screens, not on phones. On small screens, it looks okay. What do I do for KBPS? I do like 5,000. Should I go higher? Should I go higher than 5K BPS? Matt'll fix it. Matt's good with this shit. We'll figure it out. Yeah, Yankee says, Matt, fix that shit. We'll do it after hours. We go an hour early now on the evening shows so we can fix some of this stuff. That's the whole reason that we decided to go an hour earlier. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. So this New York Times columnist admits that scientists badly misled the public on COVID-19. Now, I've always had a policy on people admitting they were wrong about COVID where I'm like, hey, better late than never. Thanks for joining the party. Maybe, when they try this on us again next time, the next grand government experiment, maybe you'll resist a little bit with us. But I don't know, man. 5 years later, I say just shut the fuck up. Like, don't tell us. Because it's like the Fauci lied stuff. It's like there's nothing we can do. The guy ain't going to prison, and it's just going to make me mad. I'm in the ignorance is bliss stage of the COVID conspiracy. Because, like, all these people who are like, yeah, you should not wear masks everywhere and be 6 feet away and, wash all your surfaces and bleach everything, blah, 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 bleach your mail, for fuck's sake. Like, what's going to happen when those people go, oh, that might have all been bullshit and it might have all been overkill? All that's going to do is make me mad. All it's going to do is take me back 5 years and go, you motherfucker, we all could have been at work. We could have avoided inflation. We could have not released a vaccine that may or may not have really harmed people. You fucking nincompoop. But what's that going to do? You're going to raise your blood pressure. You're getting older. You're going to be unhealthy. You're going to get angry. You're going to lose some of your hair. Trust me, that's no fun. I don't know. Maybe I hope these people can now just keep it to themselves. All right. Look, you use it as a self-learning lesson, but like doing a mea culpa to the rest of the world is just going to piss us off because there's nothing we can do about it. Like when people in like 2021 and 2022 were coming forward and being like, yeah, maybe masks are bullshit. Yeah, maybe social distancing is retarded. It was like, hey, appreciate that. All right, one more. That's great. But in 2025, anything after 2023, it's kind of like you're too late, up till 2023, I was a better late than never guy. Because they were still fucking around back in, isn't that when masks fully went away was 23? It was 22 or 23. They were still fucking around with that stuff. And the national emergency, I think, ended in 22 or 23. But it was just so fucking annoying. So anytime someone would fade and like come over to this side, you were like, hey, nice to have you. Now, there were a lot of people who were like, no, fuck you. You weren't here in the beginning. But that's not really how you grow numbers. But in 2025, leave us all alone. Turtle with $2 says, do not do your own research and then order alone. The New York Times finally ran a column by a scientist who said the public was badly misled about the origins of COVID-19, triggering backlash from leaders who say the admission comes 5 years too late. And that's really what bothers us about the lab leak thing. Thing that bothers me anyway about the lab leak thing is that there were plenty of people, and they weren't just like conspiracy theorists doing their own research. The conspiracy theorists doing their own research were just listening to like scientific people saying, no, this started in a Chinese lab. And Fauci purposely dealt those people out of meetings. Remember Robert Redfield, the head of the CDC. He was like, yeah, this for sure started in this Wuhan lab. And Fauci just basically kicked him out of all the meetings about COVID-19. I mean, that's intentional. You're intentionally trying to mislead people then. If you're kicking, because remember their whole thing was trust the science. Well, science is about a bunch of people having an opinion, coming to a hypothesis, testing it, and then seeing if the facts of your research bear out the hypothesis or if you need to change it. So this Redfield guy, if we were following the science, his contributions would have been welcomed and they could have tested all of these. But it wasn't about science. It was about a certain message that they wanted to put out there to the people. I mean, for Fauci to come out years later and go, yeah, that 6 feet thing, we just pulled that out of our ass. Really? Because anyone who didn't stand outside of 6 feet from someone was somehow going to poison the entire fucking world. So just keep it to yourself. If you If you think Lab Leak was, if you don't think Lab Leak was bullshit anymore, keep it to yourself, because I think all we're going to do, we're tired of it now. We're moving on, and all we're going to say is, I told you so. How could you be so stupid? That's where we're going to go with it. No, Robert Redfield, by the way, not Robert Redford. Some people think I said Robert Redford. Robert Redfield, head of the CDC at the time. Crunchy Cynicism with $10 says, am I still in first, and what do I win? Hashtag stop Asian hate. You are still in first. Gray Duckling is at 118 and you're at 220. So you guys are about $100 away from each other. And we're $65 away from tonight. So it's not over by any means. I mean, Gray Duckling is within 100. I think a few other people. Fuck You Dude is climbing up there. Flinty Gecko is climbing up there. Sanford Son is at 50. You got Stephanie at 70. Thermodyne's up there a bit. So, yeah, you haven't won anything yet, Crunchy. Look, 220 might get it done for you, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. Thank you very much for the extra 10. $65 away from tonight. Holy shit. Right there, right on the goal line. You guys are the absolute best. Absolute best in the business. I don't like this next one. Kim Kardashian wants to strip Kanye of legal custody of his children. She says that stripping him of legal custody is an option. That's a really shitty thing to do. And also, kind of late in the game. Like, if you were going to take Kanye's kids away because he's a lunatic, first of all, I would have been against it then too. But also, because all you're punishing him for is being divorced. Like, there's crazy fucking dads out there. There's crazy dudes out there, but they're married to the wife and they've got kids and they can raise them however they want, whatever. So you're not punishing Kanye for being a dad who thinks some crazy shit. Because there's lots of dads out there that legally get to be with their kids who believe in crazy shit. You're taking advantage of the fact that you two got divorced. And I don't think that's right. Kanye hasn't done anything to show he's an unfit father. Kanye hasn't done anything to show he doesn't love his kids. Kanye is a public figure, and sometimes he says wild shit. You don't think David Hasselhoff has embarrassed his kids before? You don't think Mel Gibson has embarrassed his children? Other celebrities who do shit? You don't think they embarrass their kids? Of course they do, but that doesn't mean they get them taken away. Like, you got to break the law, or you got to put your kids in danger, or you got to, be abusive or something like that. Kanye hasn't done any of that. So I hope this doesn't get too ugly. I guess Kanye released an album or a song where their daughter North raps. The latest legal war was set off after Kanye agreed in a mediation Friday not to release the previously recorded song. The track, Lonely Roads Still Go to Sunshine, also includes a phone conversation between Diddy and Kanye. God, he's out of his fucking mind. The thing is, Kim was vehemently opposed to letting North participate in any way, and according to their divorce settlement, they both have equal say in making decisions for their kids. Sources with direct knowledge say the divorce settlement provides for the event there's a conflict. Kim and Kanye must first go to a private judge to try to hash out an agreement. Kim was there for the mediation with her lawyer and his lawyer, and they did reach an agreement. North would not appear on any version of the song if it was released. But I don't believe Kanye has released the song. But agreements don't seem to matter with Kanye, and he released the He released the song with North's voice over the weekend. Kanye posted to X last night saying, "The man makes the final decision." Ooh. That's no good. Yeah, you can't fuck with that shit, man. You just gotta, some of us learn the hard way, but you gotta eat it sometimes for your kids. I mean drama. Not barbecue or anything. But like sometimes you gotta swallow your pride and you gotta put things to the side and get along with the father or the mother of your kids. Because if that relationship is good, everything in your life is better because of it. You don't want to be fighting with the mother of your children. You don't want to be beefing with the father of your kids. You want everything to be good, everything on an even keel. Sometimes just voicing your disapproval of something, that's good enough. They can be like, hey, we're doing this. You'll be like, not too crazy about that, but I trust you. I'm not too crazy about the kids doing that, but good luck. I hope you have fun. Because a lot of the heat between divorced parents isn't usually about the kids. It's about the unresolved feelings that the couple still has for each other. So you got to put that aside. You got to put your egos aside, because a lot of times moms and dads, I've seen it in both, will pretend or act like they have a problem with something, but in reality, they just want to stop the other parent from doing something. That's spiteful. That's vengeful. That's bullshit. Don't do that. So I got to say, Kanye is in the wrong on this one. If they agreed not to release any songs with their kids on them, then you fucking don't release any songs with the kids on them. And, it's kind of a shitty spot for Kim to be in, because I'm sure the kid loved being on a song and it makes him really cool at school and shit. So, like, Kim objecting to it, now it's going to put her in a bad spot where her daughter's like, oh, really? I barely get to see dad as it is, and now I can't be on his songs? You just want to control everything. And then, oh, fuck. Shit. Now, Kanye rarely sees his kids, so physical custody is not an issue. That's sad. In fact, Kim wants their kids to have a relationship with their dad and has almost always facilitated that. One recent exception, when Kanye held an event where he urged participants to wear swastika shirts. Okay, I can see why the kids probably shouldn't be at that one. She did not feel it was appropriate for her kids to attend that event. I mean, there aren't too many people that are going to argue with you on that one. God damn, Kanye. The man makes the final decision and then blows it up. I mean, the guy's nothing if not brazen, that's for sure. No Pen 15 Fathead with $5 says, if Crunchy has a thing for Asians, I've got a slightly above average surprise for her. Why is it that Kanye, why is it that Crunchy says one thing and all of a sudden it's just dicks out for Crunchy? Why? Why, I ask you, why? Either way, thank you both very much for your contributions. $65 away from tonight's goal. You guys are doing a great job bringing in for a landing in the next 40 minutes here. We'll do some overtime. We'll have some fun tonight. Thank you, guys. And we have so far. Thank you so much for everything you do for this program. Let's finish off that last 60 and call it another win for the toe. We got a lot of good stuff coming up here. Nothing too heavy tonight. Nothing too end of the world-y. Nothing, no shit like that. I'm fixing this camera, by the way. That's one thing I'm doing. Matt's going to give me the tip that I need. Why can't I say shit without it sounding gay? Why? Power Windows says, why delete that chat? This is something about Kanye and Kim. Why delete that chat? Tell me when he's telling lies. Who? Kim deleted a Kanye thing? He says, never mind. LOL. Yeah, what chat got deleted? I'm not, you know what? I'm acting like too much of an authority on Kim and Kanye, so now he just assumes that I know this shit. Kim paid for her daughter to be in that play that she fucking sucked at, taking an actual talented kid's opportunity. Oh, Power Windows says, no, I misread a chat. Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Jesus. K-Fallen the Great with $2 says, above average, be honest, No Pen, you full Asian. Oh, shit. You do understand you're two men talking about each other's dicks. We're going to start calling you Ricada boys pretty soon. By the way, I did see that poor Nicky boy. He was a little confused. He threw some shade at me on Twitter today. He was a little confused about something I said. He thought that I said he himself paid off Fox 9 to do a shittier, like, dagger in the back fucking report on me. Nick, you're not paying off anybody. You're fucking broke, dude. You ran through all your money. You're on family money now. You're on those scheduled payouts from the old trust. you're broke. You weren't even paying your mortgage when I knew you. So you ain't, nobody has a bunch of money and is not paying their mortgage. You broke. Everybody can buy lots of cool shit when they're not paying their bills. I mean, you lost a fucking house. And by the way, let me ask you something. And I'm sure I'm just a retard. But if I had 2 homes and one of them was worth, let's say, $800,000, and I was $300 in debt to it, and I had to pay that or lose it, and then I had another house that was fully paid for and I'm not behind on it, and it's worth like $400,000 if I don't have a Silent Hill murder shower in it, and I take care of it actually. Why not? Especially if you're hard up for money and you can't pay your bills and you can't pay your mortgage. Why not sell the house that you have $400,000, $500,000 in equity in? Go live in the free house that's already paid for and pocket yourself $250,000 to $500,000. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, maybe it's that stupid middle class upbringing. I didn't have oil rich grandparents. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm the buffoon. But I didn't say that he paid off Fox 9. He ain't got any money. I'm saying that there's some influence there. I bet you if we looked at some charity donations, I bet you Fox 9 might be mixed in it, or somebody who's involved in Fox 9, or some media members, or, maybe there were some Twitter messages that were exchanged between a member of the family and that reporter then deleted later. Something like that. That maybe they were, twisted a little bit. Because I sure didn't get a say in that whole. They ran with that story without talking to me. But I will say this: now that there's good news coming out, they don't seem very. They seem pretty hesitant to talk to me. It's just interesting. Now it could be that, and I saw Melton melted down again last night. He was having a tough time, begging Nick to stream because he's worried about how good this all looks for me. And then he was like, "Yo, Fox 9 could sue him." No, they couldn't. Not at all. Asking questions. It could be something else. It was definitely a bias against me, though. Fox 9 and I actually go way back. Nick forgets I'm way more, famous in Minnesota media than he is, and always have been. My beef with Fox 9 goes back a long time. We used to make fun of Jason Matheson's shitty daytime talk show. On our show, we would play clips from it. We would play clips from their My Talk radio show. We would make fun of that on the old Steel Toe show. And Fox 9 had to send a cease and desist to us and say, you stop talking about Jason Matheson right this minute. Fox 9 was no Steel Toe fan, and they were pretty pissed at me. So it could have been a combo of, old jealous, rearing his ugly head again. I have to get him. And it also could have been their old vendetta with me regarding the Jason Matheson thing. It could be either one. All I know is it wasn't just, we don't know anything about this guy, but here's what we're going to report. It wasn't that, and I'm a little bit smarter than that. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1.99 says, no pen is Asian. That explains everything. No pen 15 fathead with $2 says, I have a small P. It's not 100% a micro P. It's a good reference. Crunchy with $2 says, I can work with that. Okay, guys, can we stop trying to cyber fuck each other through super chats? Or at least throw some zeros behind them. Make it worth my while if you're going to be fucking creepy. Yeah. Nick, nobody said, he was saying today, 2 people said that I paid off the... No. Let me be very clear. There might be some family connections. Or there might have been a PR firm or something at work. Or it could have just been, because they know who I am, they don't know who you are. From our history, they might have gone after. But something dirty, something was afoot there. But no, I never said that you paid him off. You don't have enough money to pay him off. You are, what's that, hand to mouth? Well, your hand goes into someone else's food plate, not your own. But you're used to that. That's been most of your adult life. About $60 away from tonight. Thank you guys very much. Wonderful, wonderful audience. Beautiful, beautiful people. I just figure if I don't poke these guys every once in a while, if I don't give them a little something, then they really got nothing to live for. I'm trying to save lives here, guys. Thank you to Crunchy, says $5, says, I hope this works. This is for you, Approachable. Oh, Crunchy throwing $5 at Approachable. You guys are all just trying to get group sex organized in my chat. I'm worried that I'm breaking laws right now, and I don't even know it. Like, there's some weird shit going on between No Pen and Approachable and K-Fallen and Gray and Crunchy. And I'm telling you right now, I'm being set up. I'm being set up. Atomic Ray says it's all fun and games until Crunchy pokes someone's eye out. Yeah, Kloppo, I'm going to call bullshit on that one too. I think they're really desperate for that whole thing. I think their event is not going the way they want it to. One of their guys is threatening to pull out of the whole deal. I think they're a little desperate and they're over-promising. I think they're overloading their big fat asses just a little bit. All right, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just don't, if you're going to do anything, just don't do it here. That's all I ask. Trucker 18-wheeler with a $1.99 says once Crunchy drinks a little more, she'll give more. I just want everybody to stop trying to organize all kinds of nefarious things through their super chats. That's all. Hey, big shakeup at the Daily Wire today. Remember Jeremy Bowring? You know, the guy that Crowder recorded when they were negotiating a deal for old Steven? He's out. He's out with Daily Wire. He's stepping down as their CEO. Now, apparently he has some show. I can't imagine he's much of a personality, but Jeremy Bowring is no longer going to be the CEO of Daily Wire. Now, they use the term stepping down. This crazy psychopath with a mustache on Twitter, who I trust fully, says he's not stepping down, that he has insider information that Jeremy Bowring has been fired as CEO of Daily Wire, which is kind of strange because aren't they doing just fine? Like that's the Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, is it? The bearded guy? The Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. Are they still, is Andrew Klavan still a welfare case over there? Are they still giving him a gig because, I don't know, he needs a retirement account? I never understood the draw of an Andrew Klavan. But anyway, this guy with the mustache who looks insane, I trust him. He says Jeremy Bowring's fired.
The Daily Wire is going bankrupt, allegedly, and Jeremy Bowring is officially out as CEO.
I'm going to go with bullshit on the Daily Wire is going bankrupt. Like, if they were going bankrupt, rich conservatives would bankroll that thing until the end of time. Are you kidding? Rich conservatives would have the Daily Wire's back all day long.
That's right. The self-proclaimed God King of the Daily Wire is at the heart of so many scandals. And yes, he is self-described as the God King. And the email just went out today internally that he is stepping down and now Axios is covering the story. It has not yet broken, as far as I'm aware, that private equity is moving in and looking to buy up the Daily Wire. I heard, rumor mill, that Silver Lake Capital is looking to buy them up. And yo, Silver Lake, you guys might want to watch this video before you think too hard about it.
Or Silver Lake Capital is buying up Daily Wire and they want their own guy in there as CEO. Isn't that a little bit easier to come to terms with? That maybe if Silver Lake Capital, by the way, Silver Lake Capital, aggregate new equity investment in recent months reaches $8 billion, accelerating and extending. Technology management, American global private equity firm focused on technology and technology-based investments. Silver Lake is headquartered in Silicon Valley, founded by Glenn Hutchins in 1999, Chairman Ken Howe. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that maybe they just don't want, if they're going to buy the thing. And if you're Ben Shapiro, that's why you start something like the Daily Wire, so you can sell it off for a shitload of money to somebody, and all you have to do is a show. So if Silver Lake Capital buys this thing, and they want their own CEO, and Ben Shapiro says, well, in order for, and I'm sure Jeremy Bowring's got shares in Daily Wire, so if Ben Shapiro goes, look, you're going to make a substantial fucking amount of money from this deal, so We'll sell to Silver Lake. You'll be out as CEO. Here's the money you get for your shares. I'm sure he's not going to be heartbroken. So I don't know. I want to believe crazy mustache guy. What's his name? Ian Carroll? Why have I heard of that name before? I want to believe crazy mustache guy, but I think it makes more sense that Silver Lake Capital is going to want their own guy in there. Crunchy with $20 says, I sent a link with the dono. Check Facebook. I did an approachable. Oh, okay. K Fallen with $2 says, I need STD tests from everyone by 8 or no orgy. You're not organizing orgies in my chat. This is not happening. By the way, $40 away from tonight. You guys are all the way down there. Thank you so much. $40 away. Here's what you want to see something cool about the evening show, audience? Hey, guys, we're $40 away. Go ahead and hammer out the rest in the next couple minutes here. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. You guys are the best. All right, I'll hear this guy out. I've let him go for 36 seconds, and I'm already shitting all over his idea.
Because there's a lot that is not in the public square right now. We're about to get into stuff like canceled credit cards, lying to the press, trying to trick Tim Pool. As far as I can tell from my sources.
First of all, I am all for. I am all for tricking Tim Pool. And always will be. Tricking Tim Pool, if they're doing that, I fully endorse that. That's fun. That's a good time. The rest of it seems kind of small potatoes. I think this Silver Lake equity sees what the Daily Wire is, sees the subscriber base, and they want to buy it. And they want to have influence over conservative media. And it's not like they're going to buy Fox News anytime soon. So you can grab up the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro can make a fuck-all fortune. And then he can just do his show every day. He doesn't have to run a company.
Even people inside of the Daily Wire only know part of the story, and they're all kind of getting played against each other. It's a whole mess. And the most important part...
You understand most of these startups, a lot of these startups that get bought up by big private equity firms, a lot of them have never turned a profit before. Like before Pandora got bought up by Sirius XM, they never turned a profit. Sirius just threw a whole... That's what you do a startup for. You start it up, and then you just go and you show it off, and you parade it out there. You got... angel investors, and you got capital investment, and then you hope that somebody with billions of dollars sees it and goes, holy shit, I can't create something like that, but I bet you my company can do something with it. Let's buy that up. Like a Rumble, like a Daily Wire, like Pandora, like something like that. Like Twitch. That's what happened with Twitch. Amazon ended up buying it. They made a fortune. They were never particularly profitable. And then you get to pay off all your partners, and they make a big chunk of money, and you make a little chunk of money, and you get to go on to your next thing. That's the whole point of starting something like that up.
Of this mess is that the Daily Wire has a long history of treating their employees like shit. And
Do they? Ask Brett Cooper. Didn't Brett Cooper leave the Daily Wire, start a YouTube channel, and have like 500,000 subscribers by the end of the week? Yeah, what a shitty deal that was. Nobody had heard of Brett Cooper before the Daily Wire, and Brett Cooper doesn't have as big of a platform since she left the Daily Wire either. I'm sure she's doing just fine. But I get tired of that too. Like Crowder tried to do that. Oh, they treat their employees like shit. They give people who can't draw a fucking dime a platform. They give them a way to build their brand, and then they can either re-sign with the Daily Wire once they prove their worth, or they can go off on their own and keep all the money for themselves.
Numerous sources inside the Daily Wire for quite some time because everyone hates them, even their own people. That's not to mention the numerous sources outside of the Daily Wire that did not take the NDA money on the way out. Like, I had people literally in my comments on Instagram offering to give me dirt on the Daily Wire because...
Holy shit, that never happens. People never leave a job and then offer to give you dirt on the job they quit. Come on. Look, man, I'm not a Daily Wire guy myself, but I can smell bullshit from a mile away, especially when it's this strong. Jesus, dude. Some people just want this to be true. And it's preposterous to think that Silver Lake Capital isn't doing their due diligence on an acquisition like this. NoPen15 Fathead with $2 says, I've had a vasectomy. I won't be wearing protection. Jesus Christ.
Because they hated the Daily Wire so much, it's out of control. And it all centers around the God King and his fucking massive ego. And his lifelong desire to be a famous actor and make it in Hollywood, which he failed at originally years and years and years ago. And so once the Daily Wire was off the ground, he just couldn't help but try to turn the Daily Wire into a Hollywood movie studio.
I mean, doesn't I mean, trying to make movies sounds like a worthwhile endeavor, doesn't it? This guy, I mean, I don't know if this guy's good or bad, but like he definitely has a hard-on for the Daily Wire. I mean, it's kind of weird to spin. I can't believe you're trying to spin a private equity firm buying off your creation as some kind of an L. Like, hey, this private equity firm worth billions of dollars wants to buy you out. Oh, boy, I sure do feel like shit about that one. God, come on, man.
And produce the Pendragon series. Note that this article is from 2023. And he said that he had dreamt of bringing this book to the screen for 25 years. It was due to stream exclusively on Daily Wire Plus in 2024. Why didn't that happen? That's a good question. And that leads to us talking about all the Daily Wire's employees' credit cards getting frozen, allegedly. Just to first set the stage, though, producing a...
Who's alleging this? Who's alleging that the credit cards are being frozen? And is there an explanation for it? Everybody does this thing where they go, this thing's happening. And if you say anything like that, it sounds ominous. But if you're being bought out by another company, they might want to freeze your credit card so they can get a good look at your books. If the movie studio is struggling, then yeah, they might try to get a hold of spending.
A Hollywood movie is like a huge multi-million dollar undertaking. It is not the same as filming Ben Shapiro talking really fast at liberals. So I've actually been collecting information on this story for quite some time here.
Whoa, no way.
And now that it has officially broken in the news, I think my sources are a little safer to talk about this. Because they're portraying it as though Jeremy Boring is willingly stepping back to work on creative projects like the Pendragon cycle, and that he'll remain with the company in an advisory role. My sources are telling me that the Pendragon cycle is being moved off-site and out of the Daily Wire's physical purview because they're not letting Jeremy Boring back in the building right now, apparently. Jeremy Boring was 100% allegedly forced out, not a willing leave. And that's because this financial problem has been going on for years. They had recently had to table all projects and do a hiring freeze because there was no money in the bank, allegedly. All the way back in 2023, Jeremy and Ben Shapiro apparently had to put money into the Daily Wire, their own personal money, to rescue it. That money has not been reimbursed, and it is all...
Yeah, allegedly. Where are you getting this from? Is this anywhere else? I'm not saying this guy's lying. I'm saying who's telling you this? Daily Wire money trouble. Daily Wire is also in massive financial trouble. Is Daily Wire doing... Daily Wire's annual revenues exceed $100 million for the first time as of early 2022 and had 150 employees. Daily Wire eyes growth investment in 2025, looking to possibly partner with a larger company or raise a significant round of capital next year to meet its growth ambitions. Well, yeah. If you're worth something, a lot of times to raise money for what you want to do, you'll sell off a piece of your company. That's not unreasonable. I think this is a guy looking way too into this. And again, I dislike Daily Wire. I don't like I'm not a Ben Shapiro guy, but I don't know. This seems flimsy at best. Crowder Wears Panties says, Aaron, this retard is getting his points from Candace Owens, guaranteed. That, you know what? That's probably a good point. She's married to a rich guy. She doesn't need Ben Shapiro's money. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1.99 says, Steel Toe Horny Show. When did it change? Adam Simon with $2 says, I've got a couple spare magnums if anyone needs them. Jesus Christ. Crunchy Cynicism with $5 says, when women started donating, play my clip, you meanie head. I'm getting there. $5 from Raz of Chaz says, am I missing out on the crunchy gangbang? Add my 15 to the crunchy tit total. Jesus. You guys are fucking pigs. Fucking pigs. $35 away from hammering out tonight's goal and calling it another win for the toe. Thank you very much. Guys, 35, let's do it. I got nothing but supreme belief in the steel toe crowd in the evening. All right, let's see what Crunchy sent us. She writes, you dick, and then sends this. You know, some of us learn the hard way, but you got to eat it sometimes for your kids. Oh, God. You piece of shit, Crunchy. What's this other one you sent in? Another clip. You know, some of us learn the hard way. That's the same clip, you asshole. You just sent it in twice. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Crunchy. We appreciate that. That's very kind of you to remind me of what I said. You thought maybe I forgot. I understand. 35 away. Thank you guys very much for all of your very intriguing super chats, to say the least. Now clean it up, you guinea brat. All right, what do we got next? This Ian Carroll guy creeps me out. Elon Musk found some more things while looking through things over at Doge. Speaking of credit cards, he apparently found out that the United States government has a shitload more credit cards than they do employees. That's not good. This is Elon doing an interview about Doge on, The Verdict with Ted Cruz. Do all these motherfuckers just have nothing to do all day? These people running the country? We've got Gavin Newsom, who's got to run the biggest, most populated state in the country. And he's got plenty of time to just sit around, fuck around, and do a podcast. Ted Cruz, who's either supposed to be passing legislation or blowing donors, he's got time to do a fucking podcast. You want to do a podcast or you want to be a senator? Take your pick. You want to be governor or you want to do a podcast? I don't like it that they're doing both, but all right. He had Elon Musk on, and how is it that Elon Musk knows this shit and Ted Cruz doesn't? I'll tell you why. Because Ted Cruz and everyone else in Congress and everyone else in the Senate has been more than happy to let this shit go on year after year because they don't give a fuck. They just want to use this shit as talking points. And the reason Ted Cruz has always been lukewarm on Trump is because Ted Cruz is part of the machine and Trump wants to dismantle that machine. And Trump, unlike Ted Cruz, is not bullshitting. He's got 4 years. He's going to try and wreck shit as much as he can, and then he's leaving. People like Ted Cruz want to keep their job, so they want to talk about tearing down the machine, but they want to keep it running so they can rage against it and keep their job until they can retire at 97. Ted Cruz, to me, is a worm.
You've told me about. Tell us about computer licenses in government agencies.
Yeah, so most of what Doge is finding, you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes. Okay, it's very obvious. Based
I hope so, because Sherlock Holmes isn't real.
Stuff. So in every government department, I say every because we've not yet found a single exception, there are far too many software licenses and media subscriptions, meaning many more software licenses and media subscriptions than there are humans in the department.
Like you were saying, like an agency with 15,000 people might have 30,000 licenses.
Yes.
And even of the 15,000 employees, a good chunk of them hadn't used the license, had never logged on or used the application.
Yes.
Why? I have a question. Why is the government, and maybe you guys can explain this to me like I'm a child so I can understand it. Why the fuck are government workers getting like Netflix accounts and subscription accounts and shit like that? Like, what? Why?
We found entire situations of software licenses or media subscriptions where there were 0 logins.
Wow.
So it had
and yet we were paying for it.
Yes, that's the
every month on autopay, 15, 20, 30 bucks a month. And again, you go 15,000, that adds up. Let's go $240 a year times 15,000 subscriptions. There's $3.6 million in unused subscriptions. That was one department, they said. 15,000 with 0 logins.
I'm just paying for thousands of licenses of software or media subscriptions, and no one had ever logged in even once.
Or like credit cards. You found the same thing with government credit cards.
We found that there are twice as many credit cards as there are humans.
Wonderful.
And I still don't have a good explanation for why this is the case. And these are $10,000 limit cards. So it's a lot of money.
Is it incompetence that you're finding, or is this like the biggest money laundering scheme in the history of the world that you're finding?
Do you want to know the answer to that? And by the way, this motherfucker knows the answer. This asshole knows the answer, and he's going to act so surprised when Elon comes out and goes, oh, yeah, we've been laundering all this credit card money. We've been buying weapons off the books for different countries and different rebel groups. We've been, oh, yeah, we said this was for the Department of the Interior, but really it's been used to buy cruise missiles for rebels in South America somewhere. It's exactly what we're doing. It is. It's a giant fucking money laundering scheme. And we're all the victims of it. And I don't like that Ted Cruz is playing stupid right now because these people have known this shit's been going on. They just didn't think they were going to get a crazy autistic rocket man to come in there and start tearing shit down. You know, Ted Cruz is like, whoa. We only talk about shrinking government around here in the Republican Party. We don't actually fucking do anything. Trucker 18-wheeler with $4.99 says instead of Tay and Gray, it's Crunchy and Gray. By the way, has anyone seen Miss Tay? Conspiracy incoming. Well, I don't expect Miss Tay to give us fucking $300 every goddamn week. Don't expect her to give us $300 every month. Don't expect her to give anything ever. It's very nice when she does. It's very sweet. Somebody was writing me today. I get all kinds of information and intel that I just don't use because it's just a waste of time. It'll bore my audience. But someone was like, yeah, Patrick Melton stays at his pay pig's house sometimes, and they're all dudes, and it's really awkward. One guy gives him like $3,400 a month, and, you know, what do you owe a guy who gives you that much money? Like, that's little creepy. Yeah, he was telling me a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for thinking of me, but that's just, like, now that information's in my head, and I don't need to know that. Like, apparently he's got a few people just keeping him afloat. And he really, from what I heard, bends over backwards for those people. Crowder wears panties with $5. Thank you very much. Says, here's my entry fee for the orgy. I'm not organizing any kind of orgy. Gray Duckling with $2 says, only I'm expected. Oh boy, now we're fighting. 25 bucks away from today's goal. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1.99 says Crunchy is Miss Tay. Oh shit, conspiracies ahead. Mr. Beat says Crunchy is a Jewish dude. You all can't see that? Everybody's got theories now about old Crunchy. Hey guys, 25 bucks away from tonight's goal. You're there. You've got it. Finish it up. Who wants to be part of finishing this whole thing up and calling it another win for the toe? Calling it another win for the... Someone says a profile picture means nothing. Crunchy has been to our live events before. I've met Crunchy. She's a very nice person. She's a lot of fun. Crunchy likes to have a good time. That's very... No, I have not fucked Crunchy. No, Crunchy. That does not mean Crunchy and I have hooked up. Crunchy has been at live events. She's fun. There's nothing wrong with Crunchy. Man arrested after drawing a swastika on a Cybertruck belonging to a Jewish man in New York City. It's, you know, when you lash out of rage and you go from Teslas are great because they help the environment to I'm angry at the bad man trying to save me my taxpayer dollars. I'm going to start just writing swastikas on other people's property. It's really hard to take you seriously, but these people with their attitude that they just are entitled to vandalize people's property because they don't they don't like the politics of the person who made the car. Hey, lefties, progressives, I have a question for you. You ever saw what Henry Ford believed? You going to start going after Fords now? Don't go after the trucks. Those people might not be as nice as the Tesla owners. Cue all the Chevy and Ram people going, no, Ford's a bunch of pussies. Kick the shit out of them.
What you doing?
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Did he vandalize it, or does that guy just have a dirty fucking Tesla and he did the wash me thing and put a swastika on it? Now, that's not so bad. Did he scratch the shit? That doesn't look like he scratched the shit out of it. That just looks like he took his finger and put a swastika on it. That'll wash out. Speaking of which, I got to get my dirty fucking vehicle. You know what I hate about regularly washing your vehicle? You realize how often it needs it. I just washed the thing 2 weeks ago. It's fucking disgusting. Great. So now we're fighting in the middle of the street while little kids are getting off the fucking school bus in a crowded New York street because you had to put Elon equals Nazi on a guy's Tesla. Hey, you really fought back. You really resisted. Good job, buddy. You killed it. Good work. So there we go. We got, school bus is gone already. Holy shit, that guy's quick.
What you doing?
Yeah, it's not accomplishing anything. It's like, all right, you loved, all these lefties loved Elon Musk just like a year ago. And then he goes, I like Trump. I want to try and help out with the economy and shit. And then all of a sudden, you got to draw all over the car. You got to burn them down. They're still setting cars on fire. We got one of those stories tomorrow. They're going to dealerships and just setting stuff on fire. You know these dealerships eventually are going to start hiring armed security. Somebody's going to get fucking shot over this. Crunchy with $10 says, do you think a Jew would donate like I do? Oh, she kind of got you there, guys. She is, by my count, at $260 for this week. Adam Simon with $2 says, let's bring it home. I don't want to get blue balls. It's nice. That's nice. $15 away, boys and girls. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. The next $20 drop on Rumble or YouTube is a winner. Hulkamasha Baby with $1 says, we know you didn't hook up with Crunchy. She didn't have a spouse with her. You see, because I'd only have sex with her if she had a spouse. That's all I... You build 1,000 bridges. Aaron's Dingley thing, becoming a member for 34 months, says that swastika is bullshit. Do I need to show them a good one? Also, Crunchy has great honkers. Everybody who sends in money, they've got to say something about Crunchy's tits. Guys, I know this is going to be hard for you to believe. She's a person too, Pop, goddammit. $15 away from tonight. Knock it out. I trust you. We're not going to do the last 5-minute thing. You guys will hammer out the last 15. The evening show's always got it. Another nice and easy night with you guys being incredibly generous. Gray Duckling and Crunchy, chief among them, but many, many others tonight. Raz and plenty of, Trucker, Crowder, Hulkamash, Adam Simon, so many others getting in on it tonight. We appreciate that. $15 away. If I could make a request, I would love to do it $1 and $2 at a time. That'd be cool. You guys can listen one time and not just purposely do the opposite of the thing I thought would be fun. I think it would be fun to do, instead of like a 10 and a 10 or a bunch of 5s, I think a bunch of 1s and 2s would be really great to knock out this last $15 tonight. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble rants, etc. Right? This is I actually got to give CNN credit. This is a good article. I like this. Tariffs got you down? I'll be honest, I haven't noticed any tariff stuff. But then again, I haven't really been shopping much in the last couple of weeks. I bought drinks at a bar and wings at a restaurant. That's what I've bought in the last couple of weeks. So I don't really know what kind of effects the tariffs are having yet. I know people in those industries are already feeling it. Tariffs got you down. How to substitute American alternatives for European wines. See, you know what? This is perfect. I don't know if CNN is actually trying to help America or actually trying to help the trade war, or is just accidentally doing it. But this is helpful shit. Crunchy Cynicism with $20 says, I'm actually 30 rats in a nice honkers suit. Men can't tell the difference. See, she's not a person. She's 30 rats in a nice honkers suit. Men can't tell the difference. Well, Crunchy, thanks for ruining my dream of doing this $1 or $2 at a time. You guys have knocked it out for tonight. And Crunchy is just $20 away from cracking 300. Thank you for the 20.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
And, of course, that knocks out tonight's goal, so...
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Thank you very much. It's another win for the toe. So tariffs got you down. How to substitute American alternatives for European wines. Number one, what a spoiled cunt you are that you're like, oh, these tariffs are destroying my taste in fine European wines. Shut the then we don't have a problem. If the issue is you got to buy American wines instead of your fancy European wines, then the country's going to be okay. Go to Milner Heritage Vineyard and Winery. They're great. They're in Kimball, Minnesota. They sell delicious wine. I recommend, I can't remember the, Mein Onkel is very good. It's German wine. It's very, very good, but it's made right here in Minnesota. Milner Heritage Winery. Oh, now it's Milner Heritage Winery and Cider. How dare I? Oh, you can order online. How lovely. They've got the Frazit. I'm fucking up my German. The Draga. The Draga is not bad. Neuhaus is one of my favorite. That's a good Austrian one. Mein Onkel. That might be my favorite. Mein Onkel is a good Milner Heritage wine. Nepelmente is very sweet. That one's very good. Schnickel Fritz. I don't remember that one. Nordsus is very good too. I like a good Nordsus. That's a sweet one. I like a sweet wine. I'm kind of a gay when it comes to that. Little Isa, very good. I've had that. I haven't had these for years, but I remember the ones that are really, really good. I got to go Nordsus, Nepelmente, Mein Onkel. Mein Onkel is the best. Get Mein Onkel. Neuhaus and Draga are my favorites. But yeah, fucking buy American shit. That's the whole point of tariffs is trying to get us to buy American shit. That's the whole point. And wine is good. Wine is tasty. I've gotten in trouble with people for drinking wine before. I enjoy a good, what do I like? Is it Riesling? No, what's the other one? I like a white Zin. God, I really am just an old lesbian, aren't I? But drank wine before, so I made people nervous what my intentions were for drinking wine. Imagine how gay that is. Aaron's Dingley thing with $2 says crunchy as rats, so she is well, there we go. Gray Duckling with $2 says your uncle, my old man. Oh, thank you guys very much for knocking it out tonight. We're having some fun. We're doing some overtime. It's another great evening show. So yeah, tariffs got you down. How to substitute American alternatives for European wines. Just fucking drink something different, you spoiled cunt. And that is the point of tariffs, to get people to become aware of buying American. The whole point of these tariffs, and again, I'm not a tariff guy, but since we're in this war, I want to win it. I'm a USA guy, so I want us to win the trade war. And in this trade war, it better bring industry and manufacturing back to the United States, because the whole point is make it so expensive for these companies to ship to their biggest buyer, which is us, that they're like, well, why don't we just build right, where our number one customer is? There's a parts manufacturer and sales place here in central Minnesota. It's actually all over the country. It's called Fastenal. And what Fastenal will do is if their account is big enough, they'll build an adjoining building to that company so they can service that client. So if the United States jacks up tariffs on Canada and Mexico and the EU, and all of these business goes, fuck, it's costing us an arm and a leg to send shit to the United States. Then when it gets there, they have to jack up the prices. We don't sell any units, so they don't order more because the prices are so high. Why don't we just move our manufacturing to the United States? We can circumvent these tariffs, and we can just sell directly to these people. And yeah, we have to pay a little bit higher taxes. We have to pay a little bit more in labor costs, but we don't have to pay the exorbitant tariffs. That's supposed to be the whole idea behind these tariffs, and to get Americans to be more conscious of what they're purchasing and buying more American products. If we accomplish that, then we win. If not, then I worry that the tariff thing is just going to hurt the American consumer. Von Kaiser with $1. Thank you very much. See, Von Kaiser was trying to do the good-spirited, $1 at a time thing. Oh, hey, do you guys notice I fucked up my camera? Look at this. I tilted it. Either that or I tilted the table at some point, which I don't think I did. But, yeah, this part is way the fuck out there. Look at that. Whoop. That's a little better. Oh, you know what? That's what it was. The table was definitely crooked. That's for sure. Professor Tie-Dye with $1 says Aaron keeps little bottles of white Zin next to the poppers, his man purse, for a good time at the gay bar. That's not what it is. It's not Riesling. It's something else. What's the fucking wine I like? No Pen 15, not Moscato either. It's a gay chick wine, don't get me wrong. No Pen 15 with $2 says Callahan Auto Parts is probably loving the tariffs. Oh, yeah, the Callahan family. You know, they love it. Different types of sweet white wine. God, it's the gayest thing I've ever Googled. Outside of giant horsecock. Riesling, Moscato. Oh, maybe it is Riesling or Moscato then. Well, fuck me in the mouth, I guess. Moscato, Riesling, Gewürztraminer. I think it's Moscato or Riesling that I really like, that I enjoy. It's so tasty and sweet. I like a good Merlot from time to time. I'm really up in the lesbian factor in tonight's program. Atomic Ray says Jack Daniels is the same price. Hey, look, Jack Daniels kicked my ass again Saturday night. I always thought this heart was made of steel and bulletproof. But the memory of her taillights fading breaks it right in two. They say every Superman has got his kryptonite. Well, Jack Daniels kicked my ass again last night. I don't know what it is about getting more intoxicated and then the mixing the boozes. Like, we went out at 2 p.m, my buddy and I. We were waiting for another friend. He was coming by later, a couple more hours. And the Irish place was kind of packed, and we didn't want to wait. We wanted a drink. So we went to a Mexican bar for St. Patrick's Day. I was out with a couple of Irish dudes. We went to a Mexican bar. And I had a Bloody, and it was really nice. Go have the Bloody, go next door, and had an old-fashioned. Then after that, I switched to Surly Furious, which is a dark beer. And I just kept on the Furious. I kept on the beers, but they're like a 7, I think, the Furious. A 5 or a 7. They're a heavier one. And I kept drinking back the Surly Furious. And then it was getting a little late, and I got a little loosey-goosey with what I was ordering. I went back to another Bloody. I had a Jack and Coke, and then Lord fucking knows what I had after that. And it was a hell of a night. It's not as fun anymore either. I don't know what it is. Going out at 38 with your friends. Like, it's still fun to go out with your friends and talk shit, but like, I think we were all talking about it the next day, and we were like, it would have been just as fun if we would have hung out at somebody's house, had a few beers, and fucking talked Vikings and just talked about stupid shit. It would have been just as much fun. But we had to go out for St. Patrick's Day, wearing green and hooping and hollering. And I don't know. It's just, when you feel like shit for 2 days after, it's just the juice not being worth the squeeze anymore. You know? You just, your tastes changed. Billy Bob Norris says, Irish guys at a Mexican place doing St. Patty's Day upright. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Sam Show says, that's pretty gay. You had a girls' night. Well, yeah, see, the thing is, like, I'm not single. I very much love the person I'm with. So it ain't like I'm fucking. So it's not like I'm trying to, like, talk to girls and shit. So that's out. So then it's like, well, why don't you guys just hang out at home? Fucking. I remember draft night last year. Draft night was great. We met up at Buffalo Wild Wings. We watched the Vikings make 2 picks in the first round. Threw back beers. Went to another bar afterwards. Went back home. Watched J.J. McCarthy highlight videos. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Atomic Ray says you are supposed to spit when sampling that many liquors or puke it out when you're home. Wouldn't have been a bad idea. Would have saved me some of the bloat. McBuster says Aaron wanted to dress up in comfy robes with the boys, watch a rom-com, and talk about feelings. The hand jobs never came. I don't know. Just your tastes change. Like, my parents have never been drinkers. My parents never went out. They were pretty normal folks when I was growing up. They still don't go out now. They just don't drink. They're not like, it's not like they had a problem with it or anything else. They just don't drink. It doesn't do anything for them. And honestly, I hadn't been intoxicated since like around like the holiday season. So it had been a while for me. I have a cocktail every now and again when it's warm out, and then drinking just doesn't. I need a reason to drink. I'm not a guy who just goes, yeah, hard day, gotta have me a whiskey or gotta have me a beer. Like, if I'm thirsty and I want something to drink, I want like water or a Diet Mountain Dew or, God, it's not gonna help the gay thing, like a Crystal Light lemonade or fruit punch packet in my water or something flavored and sweet. I don't want booze. You know? If it's sunny out and we're going to have a fire or something, yeah, man, I'll have a drink. If I'm going to have a cigar, yeah, pour me a drink. But I can't just drink for no reason. I got to have a reason to do it. Ryan the Garbage Man says, why did you build a bar in your garage? I didn't. I don't have a bar in my garage. I installed a karaoke setup at my neighbor's garage, but even he doesn't have a bar there. No bar in my garage, my man. I don't want to. Don't need to. Like I said, I don't drink enough. Los Federales asked, Aaron, how old were you when you tore your hymen? I was 12. I was horseback riding. Got any other brain busters for me? Thank you guys very much for tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I got this one. Gen Z. We all love Gen Z. They're so, I don't think Gen Z is that bad. I'll be honest with you. I think they're going to be okay. I'm calling it right now. You know how you guys were all worried about the millennials, and we ended up being fine. We all turn into pricks eventually. We all turn into cold, stubborn assholes, And, Gen X, they did it. Gen X was going to ruin everything. They were grunge, and they had piercings in their face, and they were disrespectful, and they were riding skateboards and watching The Simpsons. That goddamn Gen X. They were going to ruin everything. And then they just they settled down, and they kind of become just harmless, cold, distant assholes. And then millennials came aboard. And remember us? We were entitled. We were too sensitive. We were whatever. Then we just kind of became sarcastic, snarky little shitheads. And that's us, sarcastic, snarky shitheads. Now Gen Z, they're worried about Gen Z because they're the blue-haired, septum piercing, censoring at college campuses crowd. They all about their feelings and taking a mental health day and all that shit. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to do what the rest of us did, and they're going to weed out the weak, and they're just going to become cold, hardened, capitalist dickheads. But Gen Z right now is doing something called revenge quitting. Oh, thank God, quitting. Okay. Give me a minute there. Hold on. I got a little nervous. Gen Z is revenge quitting as payback for employers' alleged unfair treatment, causing chaos at the office. So apparently, these passive-aggressive little dickbags don't like how the boss is yelling at them and being mean, so they just up and quit one day, fuck off and leave everybody else at the office in the lurch. It's the old saying, I hope you don't plan on using them as a reference. They're ready to split out of spite. Disgruntled Gen Z employees aren't getting mad. They're not even getting even. The ticked-off 20-somethings are instead vengefully getting the hell out of Dodge when the going gets tough on the job. That is such a shithead move. That is such a dick move. I mean, at least finish out the day. So they're purposely quitting. They don't like their boss. They don't like the way he's mean to them because mommy and daddy, Gen X and millennials weren't mean to them. So now because the oldest millennials are like in their early 40s now? No, so you Gen X people raised these monsters, not us. We raised I'm raising Generation Alpha. We're raising the alphas. You guys are raising the Gen Z. Gen X raised Gen Z, and apparently you raised a bunch of fucking pussies. Gen A is going to be, or Gen Alpha is going to be okay because, us millennials. No offense to Gen X, but like we've got a little more flair than you guys do. You guys don't have a lot of showmanship. You don't have a lot of sizzle. You know what you lack that millennials have? And I think you've always hated us. As the kids say, Riz. I think millennials always had a little more flash and flair to their game. I think Gen X was a lot more vanilla and gray and sad like Kurt Cobain. And they were all grungy and who needs to show off? Who needs to be that loud? We just sit in our cubicle and get our fucking job done. All right, cool. We're going to have a good time and shit on people. That's what millennials are going to do. You guys raise Gen Z. They're really sensitive. They don't know how to deal with adversity in the workplace. I'm not saying Gen Alpha is going to be great. They're probably going to swear at people, and they're going to be dicks and assholes. It's not going to be good. They're still going to get fired from their jobs, but for different reasons. But I'm thinking these Gen Z kids, I think they're a product of Gen X. I think that's what happened. They didn't know how to handle confrontation. This is the new idea of people choosing to quit their jobs in the most inconvenient way possible in order to disrupt the business. Ick. It's a form of protest against what they perceive as unfair treatment. Oh, wow, you're working for somebody. It's always going to be unfair treatment. And peeved peons of Gen Z are leading the tit-for-tat charge. Some irked underlings, I can't read this shit, are quitting mid-shift during the company's busy season, like a holiday sale or tax time. Others are saying so long to their bosses, knowing that their offices are sorely understaffed and in need of as much help as it can get. Now, wait a minute. I might be on Gen Z's side here. If the company you work for is really understaffed and desperately needs people, then make them be nicer to you. Make them do a better job treating you good. If they need you, treating you well. If they need you, make them need you. I kind of like this. This is actually, in a weird way, kind of a millennial move. This actually takes more balls than what us millennials do. Us millennials would shit on our boss behind their back and talk shit about him. Gen Z is like, you guys are fucking sadistic. I'm going to say that. You know what? Gen Z, you guys are bigger assholes than we are. Let's rethink this a little bit. So you have a job. Your office is understaffed and overworked. And you think your boss is being an asshole to you. So instead of just going to your boss and quitting and telling him he's a dick and everything else, you wait until the place is absolutely overwhelmed and all your other coworkers are swamped and slammed and not in a good place mentally, and your boss is panicking, and you fucking quit. That's hard. You know what? I changed my opinion. That's hardcore. That's a really shitty thing to do. Like, I got to smile. That's so shitty. That's really evil. I like it. You know what? This Gen Z might be okay. Gen X, you might have done an okay job. Unless this is them rebelling, which I guess kind of in that case, it's still your compliment. But sounds like these little dickbags are pretty fucking evil. I like it. Sam Show says Gen X isn't even the last generation to play outside. Oh, no, us millennials played Little League and football. And shit, I played baseball until I was 24. Still boxing, for Christ's sake. Yankee says Nero is fiddling. Gen X is just sitting back laughing and watching it burn. Yeah, I've always found Gen X to be too passive. Way too passive. And that's fine. Because I think, and there's Gen Xers in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You guys have always kind of seen us as too loud and cocky and brash for no fucking reason. Gen X definitely sees millennials as arrogant without earning it. Like sarcastic and shitty for no reason, in your opinion. Whereas we've always kind of seen you guys as bland and gray and boring. Rizless, as the kids say. Sam Show says Gen X just gave up. Now they're old, trying to identify with the boomers. The boomers still hate them. Yeah, well, the boomers are getting back at Gen X and the millennials by getting reverse mortgages and spending all their inheritance before they die. The baby boomers are playing a cruel trick on all the Gen Xers and us millennials. They're living until 96 years old and burning through all their cash. That's what the boomers are up to. While Gen X yells, "Why won't you die?" Trucker 18 Wheeler with 199 says, fuck, I'm Gen Z and we're going to raise Gen Beta. That's true. We're raising Gen Alpha. Yeah. McBuster says, I was feeling charitable and bought a millennial a latte with extra habanero sauce once. He grasped his man bun and ran away. Oh, we're the man bun guys? Are millennials the man bun guys? Got to remember, I'm an older millennial. We're the shitheads. Boomers are just doing what they've always done, lived high on the hog at all of our expenses. Now, I will defend the boomers on this. There is no rule that says you have to give your kids a goddamn dime. Fuck them. You can make them work for it on their own. I understand that. But here's what bothers me about the boomers and their attitude towards that. Their parents, the greatest generation, they scrimped and saved and bought land for cheap and made really smart investments that matured on the baby boomers' watch, and the baby boomers got to take all of the benefits of what they got handed down from the greatest generation, and then they just went, generational wealth is for fucking gays. We're buying the fucking $200,000 RV. Now, it's not my parents. I'm not talking about my parents. There's a lot of boomers who a lot of boomers are the epitome of landed on third base and thought they hit a triple. That's kind of my problem with the millennials, is that the greatest generation did everything they could to pass something along to them, and then baby boomers went, that's fucking all ours. Fuck our kids. It's kind of the hard truth about some boomers. And then the other thing boomers did, here's the dirty fucking trick boomers did. They bought houses for $60,000, and then as we got older, they fucking threw the dollar on the floor and went, hey, you want to buy that house next door to us for $260,000? Hey, honey, guess what? Our house is worth $260,000 now. Hey, go tell that Gen Z person who just got a lucrative job that house down the road is worth $325,000. Did they buy it for $325,000? Fuck yeah, our house is worth $325,000. Oh, that's great, Mom and Dad. So that'll be something nice for my sister and I to have when you guys die. Fuck you, we're taking out a reverse mortgage and we're moving to Cabo, fags. I like people's thoughts on other generations. I like reading them. Miss Tay with $30.99. You guys asked where Miss Tay was. She's right there with $30.99, getting her name on the board for this week. Thank you, Miss Tay. Says, for the goal, stop drinking ladies' drinks. People will start to talk. Oh, thank you, Miss Tay. Nobody calls me gay right now. You guys are $25 into tomorrow night. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sam Show says Gen X got cucked by man bun fags. Did they? Millennials are the man bun beard at the gym generation. Yeah, we did do the guys with no balls growing beards thing. That is kind of our contribution. McBuster says greatest generation was pretty fucking cool. We need to do better. Yeah, they were. But their whole thing was sacrifice. Like from a very young age, they fought in World War II. Like that sacrifice was like what they grew up in. They were tempered in sacrifice. So they had that attitude throughout their entire lives. I mean, my grandparents, came up with, relatively little. They inherited a little bit of land from my great-grandparents, but they built a couple of businesses, had 7 kids, and by the time they died, they had an ample amount to leave to their 7 children. Couldn't stop breeding, so they could leave something to the fucking grandkids. I mean, didn't Grandma and Grandpa know they were handing it off to fucking boomers? We were never going to see. That's the other thing, though. You start to feel, like when kids start to feel entitled. Like I've watched that before. I've watched when, like the grandparent generation dies. And then, like, it's really uncomfortable to, like, have to argue over material things after your parents die. Like, I kind of watched my family do that. And, like, nobody was bad. But it's just like you're talking about money. Feelings are going to get hurt. You're talking about possessions. Feelings are going to get hurt. Even if they have a trust and the whole thing's, generally laid out and planned out, there's going to be trust issues and things like that. I'm glad that I only have one sibling. You know, people who come from big families, it sucks because it's kind of like growing up in a big family household. When you're a kid, you know, you got to fight to get yours. And when your parents die, it's kind of the same thing, unfortunately. You got to fight to get yours. Nobody's trying to be mean. Nobody's trying to be a dick, but you're just kind of used to that. Just kind of used to it. I hope that, I hope my parents live a long and happy life. But if that day ever comes, like I've watched it happen before, I'm just going to go, hey, let's make this easy. Right down the old middle to the penny. There's an extra penny left over. You take it. It's fine. Not a big deal. Let's go to Yankee. He says boomers started the decline of Western civilization. It was wealth mismanagement. It was throwing the dollar on the floor and just printing money so that they could invest more in the stock market. And, you know, it was borrowing and it was leveraging and it was over leveraging and it was more borrowing to get out. It was the credit card to pay off the credit card. And it was just more. And if we can't afford it right now, let's have it on credit. And let's have 3 different credit cards and a home equity line of credit and then this and that and the other thing. And it's just like, did you ever think of maybe just not having some of that shit? And hopefully these other generations can get back to it. Like, hopefully we get back to it, but who knows? Cockdiff says, when the going gets tough, millennials quit. Yeah, I wanted to fight back on that one, but you know what? The going got tough, and I just went, fuck it, I'll abandon it. No, I will say that. Millennials, when they see something that's really difficult, they're like, we'll come up with something tomorrow. You know? Let's go to Atomic Ray. Sacrifice. Giving your life for the government is a long shot for sacrifice. According to the silent generation, there were no good old days. It's all a song and dance. Silent generation was before the greatest generation, correct? Let's go to Cockdiff. He says, mismanagement got my parents rich, dummy. I don't know what that means. Other people's mismanagement? Why the fuck would they care? They don't have to pay for it. We do, says Sam Show. That's correct. That's correct. Yankee says it was a softer, easier lifestyle at 28% interest. That's true. I think my parents told me in the 80s they bought their house and paid down. They bought points to get to like 16 or 18. It's fucking insanity in the early 80s. Jesus. That's funny because like we went up to 7% for 30-year mortgages not too long ago. Like when it was at its peak, we went up to 7% and people were like, oh my God, that's fucking insane. I remember growing up, going to school, our teachers always said you want interest rates right around 5-6%. That's healthy for an economy, 5 to 6% interest rates. But then we had 2008 and we dropped interest rates down to 0 and just tried to print our way out of the Great Recession. And then, my first house that I buy as a 24, 25-year-old kid is like 3.25% interest. And it's like, how the fuck does anybody make money? I'll tell you how the banks got filthy fucking rich on our 3.25% interest rates on our 30-year mortgages back in the early part of this century. It's because the Federal Reserve was loaning it to the banks at about 0. And the banks would take that free money and they'd invest it and they'd grab about, 6% on their investments and they'd add it to their balance sheets. And then they'd loan it back out to us at 3.5% interest. So they were we printed that money for the banks and boy, did they make out like bandits. Didn't have to change any of the rules. Maybe had to look at the paperwork a little harder for about 6 seconds longer on average. But boy, they took that free money from the old Federal Reserve at like 0.1% interest. And they invested it. And then after they invested it, they got a 6% return. And after they got a 6% return on their 0.1% money they borrowed, then they loaned it to us at 3.5% for a mortgage. Yay, capitalism. Cockdiff says, growing up in the 80s and 90s were a lot of fun in all seriousness. Everything feels like a mess now. That's because we're not kids. A lot of that's because we're not kids. Like a lot of kid shit that's out there now looks like a lot of fun. Like some of the arcades they've got look really cool. Some of the like water parks and shit that they've got, we would have killed for. But the 90s were hardcore. We weren't as connected, which was good. You know, you could go out and ride your bikes all day with your friends and your parents didn't text you worried constantly. You know, that's one thing about being too connected. We had super soakers that would blow your fucking face off. Those were great. Do they still have those or did they make those safer? If they still got those, good for the kids. Nothing like having one of those super soakers that had like the main water tank and then 2 globe tanks on the back of it. It was the size of a fucking M16, and you wait until one of your friends comes around the house and you fire a fire hose of water right in his fucking head. You hurt him. You got him in the eye. He's wearing an eye patch for a week. Those were great. Those were cool parts of the 80s. Or the 90s. I didn't grow up in the fucking 80s. Pizza Huts. Kids today will never know what a Pizza Hut was like. Or a KFC. Because they see KFC and Pizza Hut now, like, this broke down ass shit. This sucks. You're like, no, bro. Nope, sorry. There's a fucking Galaga machine in the other room. You got a pizza buffet, chicken buffet, Godfather's, Pizza Hut, KFC in the 1990s. Fuck it. That's for the win right there. MSO says, don't fret, Aaron. You'll be back in the 90s again soon. Waistline. Who am I, Patrick Melton? Jesus Christ. Taste Fairy Ialto says, you should see some of the Nerf guns they have. Oh, that's true. I got my son for his last birthday like a machine gun they would have used in the trenches in World War I. There's a stand for it. They put these things on a fucking tripod because these kids can't just hold them and shoot them. You got to set them up on the tripod, put them up against your shoulder, and like pull back on a thing, and they're on bandoliers, and they're just, and you're just firing these Nerf arrows at kids from like 50 yards away and just crushing them. Oh, they are cool. It was like 70 out one day last week or 2 weekends ago. I can't remember. And I was begging my son. I'm like, hey, buddy, why don't we take that gun out? And he's like, no, Dad, I want to play football. I'm like, all right, I'll throw the football around with you. That's fine. But afterwards, let's say, like, I wanted to take the Nerf gun out. I wanted to have all the kids running back and forth in the yard and just fucking waste them. I didn't want to do the running. That's no fun. Sam Show says there's a video on YouTube somewhere where a dad hunts his kids in the house with a minigun. It's awesome. I bet. Yankee says, I just had the shitty gas station style water pistol. I can still taste that warm plastic. Oh, I can too. Oh, I can taste that too. How about a 6-pack and a pound? Do they still do that? Well, not for the price. Drive around doing the 6-pack and a pound. Oh, my God. Crunchy, you guys, with another $25. Crunchy wanted to go over 30. She just wrote gross. That's all she wrote in the thing. So Crunchy is now at 305 for the week. And what does that put you guys at the end here? 150 for tomorrow night. Wow. Wow. Great job, guys. Holy shit. Thanks for the awesome night. I really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Look at that. You guys got to teach those morning people. Look at how much fun we have when it's just like there's no goal talk. You just knock it out naturally. Thanks, guys. Let's get out of here. This flew by 2.5 hours. I'm going to finish prepping the morning show, get a few clips out for tomorrow, and maybe get some Bannerlord in before bed. Maybe plank a little bit, you fat fuck. Sorry. Take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow morning.